Is it on? Okay, there we go. Alright, hold on. Put this in the Discord. Welcome, welcome. Comrades, welcome. Hold on. Alright. Somebody else post the stream in the Discord too. Somebody else. Okay. Okay. My peoples, how are y'all doing? Let me know. Lot to talk about today. There's a lot to talk about, bro. So I hope you guys are ready. Hold on, let me just move this here. And then let's do that. Okay. So, how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing? Let me. What was that? Let me know. Carlitos, what's popping, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Xavery, how you doing? Temi, Baku, Miki, Ace, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? Bonkai, what's good? What's good? Everybody, appreciate y'all coming through. There's a lot of stuff we gotta talk about today, man. A lot of stuff we gotta talk about. So, I wasn't planning. Hold on, first before we do that, let me put this shit on Instagram because I know a lot of people that have my Instagram also come through to the stuff. So let me put that shit on Instagram. But we got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to talk about. If you can tell by the title of the stream, we have a lot to talk about. So I hope you guys are ready. Cause this is it's not gonna be long. This stream is not gonna be long. But we do have a lot to talk about. So we're going to talk about that in this stream. Now, one thing I will say, ladies and gentlemen, is I wasn't planning on doing like a video or a stream related to this. But I was inspired and encouraged to do it. And I'm going to get into that in just a second, why I was inspired and encouraged. Let me just say, open discussion. There we go. There we go. No, wait. There we go. Okay. Okay. Okay, all right. All right, there we go. Posted it there. Okay, so like I said, I wasn't planning on doing like a stream or anything related to this, but I feel like it's important because I know a lot of you guys are young and you guys have been watching the news and you guys probably have different mixed emotions and stuff like that. Let me tell you why at first I wasn't planning on doing something like this because that's just not this is not a political channel. That's not what the whole channel is about. However, I was inspired to just speak my mind on this thing because it's been on my mind. Like I haven't been able to like edit well. I haven't been able to like record. It's just all of this shit has been on my mind for the past week. And so it's been hard to do anything really when you're like just angry and kind of not angry but frustrated. You know what I mean? So I was inspired to do this stream and just talk about this because of I don't know if you guys know him. His name is a YouTuber. His name is Daquan Wiltshire. Maybe some of you guys watch him. he's kind of like talks about, there's two YouTubers. One is Daquan, the other one is Abba and Preach. They inspired me to kind of talk about it because what they said was like, if you're a person, if you're a black person with an audience, for you to kind of not talk about this issue with your peoples would kind of, it wouldn't make sense. It would kind of be like not disrespectful, but if you are the least you can do as a black person with an audience of people that will try to hear you out and listen to what you were trying to say, the least you can do is at least try to talk to it about them and try to get a discussion going and understand the different perspectives of the issue. Because like I said, the number one problem with regards to issues is not the difference in thought process or the difference in opinion, it's miscommunication. So if we can come together and have a discussion and I understand each other's perspective, it would be a lot easier for the for all of us, you know what I mean? Let me read some of this. Yup, Preach. The riots close to where I live. They burnt down children's. Yeah, you see, the thing with it is like, okay, let's just get straight into it. So in terms of the riots, in terms of everything that's going on, obviously it's unfortunate, you know, like if none of this stuff had occurred, you know, we wouldn't be in this kind of predicament, you know what I mean? Like if the country, if the country was not structured the way it is, none of this would be going on. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate because, like, I think of all, like, the business owners. I think of all of the people that have businesses. I think of all of the people that, you know, this is their livelihood. But at the same time, I understand the rioters. I understand their perspective. I understand what they mean because, you know, we've been protesting for peacefully for so many years, and like there hasn't ever been something that has been done, and we've been doing this peacefully for so many years, you know what I mean? But this shit keeps happening. This shit damn near keeps happening. Like every year there's some bullshit that happens where some minority or some black teenager or something like that dies, you know, for no reason. So, and this has been happening for so long. We've been protesting damn near every single year peacefully since Martin Luther King, but nothing has changed. So I understand the rioters' perspective. At the same time, I look at the business owners, right? I look at the business owners and I see, especially if it's a small business, I like to look at everything logically. Let's just say I took everything that I've done on this channel and I equated that and put that into like a business. Somebody came in and destroyed that in one day. It would hit. I know, like, I have insurance and all of that, but it would hit me in a way that it's hard for me to, like, I put my blood, sweat, and tears into this, and then one riot just fucks all of that up. You know what I mean? It just hits you a certain way, especially if you started something and like from scratch, and then somebody just comes and ruins that. I understand that perspective, but there's two sides to every story. I always say there's two sides to every story. You know what I mean? So the one thing that I want to let y'all know, though, because I know majority of you guys are young. Majority of you guys are like 15, 16. You know, when you're at that age, you're confused a lot. When I was at that age, I was confused. I didn't even understand half the stuff that was going on. So it's important that you guys understand everything that's going on. It's important that you guys understand. I want you guys to, first of all, understand. If you're going to take anything away from this stream, first of all, I want you guys to understand. One, not all cops are bad people. That's the first thing. I want you guys, and I want you guys to take this from the perspective of a person that has dealt with law enforcement several times. If I had a dime every single time a police officer stopped me while I was walking on the side of the street, bro. If I had $1 every single time this bullshit happened, I wouldn't be in debt. You know what I'm saying? If I had $10, I wouldn't even be in debt. You know what I mean? That's how deep this thing goes. Take this from a perspective of somebody that has been stopped by law enforcement several times. Not every cop is a bad person. You saying that every cop is a bad person is equivalent to you saying every black person is a criminal. Every white person is racist. And that's not true. That's not true. So the one thing, but a lot of young people, they're angry, they're pissed off, but I want you to at least understand that perspective. You know what I mean? I'm glad you're addressing the issue that's going on. Yeah, I said it in the stream, bro. Platinum. I said it before. It's like as a black person with an audience, it's important to talk about what's going on. You know, like it's important. So yeah. Next time a George Floyd event happens, I'm gonna end whoever did that. See, that's the problem. It's like, as much as you have to be assertive, you can't be violent. You know what I mean? I always tell people on this channel, stay humble. Do not be, you know, like, the best thing to do is to stay humble, but at the same time be assertive. You know what I mean? Like, we go and we kill this cop that did this bullshit, right? In my opinion, we go and we kill him. Okay, we get revenge in a way. We get revenge, but like, it's not gonna bring George back. You know what I'm saying? It's not, if we do that shit, like Heavenly Controller said, it's not gonna Edo Tensei. There's nothing that's gonna happen that's gonna Edo Tensei him back. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. None of that shit's gonna happen. I want him to rot in fucking jail for what he did. Don't get it twisted. But it's not gonna, we go and we kill him, it's not gonna do anything. You know what I mean? We're angry right now, so that's how we think. We're gonna go like, okay, yeah, he needs to fucking die, this, that, and the other. We're angry. We're pissed off right now. That's why we're gonna say that. Because we're pissed off. We're angry. So we're gonna go like, oh yeah, you know what? This nigga needs to die. But like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like, I remember when one of my, I'm just gonna say this now, when like a couple years ago, one of my friends died. Okay, and my friend who died didn't live in the best area. So somebody, unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, got to him. As much, and I was pissed off. I was like, what, 18 years old at the time? I was like, yo, this dude that did this needs to die, this, that, and the other. But then eventually, when you think about it and everything like that, you start to understand, like, is that going to really solve everything? Is that going to really solve all the problems? No, it's not going to really solve anything. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have a different mindset. You know what I mean? Like, at the same time though, it's like the way society is structured so that black people always have to forgive. And I don't agree with that mindset in the idea that black people are always forgiving. In a way, you have to have like some sort of thing where you have to get like a little bit of revenge in a way, but not to the point of vengeance. You get what I'm saying? Not to the point of vengeance. I want you guys to understand that. What's happening? I just came. If you know what did I miss? You didn't miss much. We're just talking about, you know, the bullshit that's occurring in the world. You know, because, like I said, guys, like, if you had, especially for any of you guys that like are streamers or anything like that, I encourage you guys to talk about this sort of thing that's going on, because especially if you're a person of color with an audience of people that will hear you out and listen to what you're trying to say, it's important to talk about these issues. You know, it's important to talk about. Now, this, like I said, this is not a political channel. I'm not like a political person. Most of y'all look at me as like a comedian, even though I'm just being myself. Most of you guys look at me as a comedian, which I understand. But like I said, it's important to talk about this sort of stuff. It's important to understand this perspective. There's people on this spectrum that are saying Black Lives Matter, but then there's other people that are saying all lives matter. You know what I mean? Now, you guys gotta like, there's a balance of like two sides that are kind of fighting right now. You know what I mean? So it's important that we understand this. I want to say 2020 is messed up. Like, it's fucking messed up. First, Juice died, George Floyd died, Kobe died. Coronavirus has killed much people this year. It's fucking shit. Yeah, man. It's the year has been canceled. Like, the year has been canceled. Let's not get that twisted. The year has been absolutely canceled. You know what I'm saying? How do we get to the point where police brutality is non-existent? That is a difficult question. The obvious answer to that question is training. However, The problem with it is, here's the thing. People will tell you this, and this is true. Racism is never something you're born with, something that you're taught. So if somebody in law enforcement comes in with a bias against a certain race, they don't like black people, they don't like Asian people, they don't like brown people, they're going to keep that biases with regards to conducting their job, which is law enforcement. So it's less even about training. I don't think you can train a racist person to not be racist. I mean, you can, but that bias will always be there. You get what I'm saying? Like you can like somebody that says they're a born again Christian, you know? Somebody that comes out and says, I'm a born again Christian, but he was once a murderer, but now he's a born again Christian. My whole philosophy is that even though you're a born again Christian, there's still a level of intent that you have from which you've had a past where you did this. There's still something that lurks within there. It's the same thing with somebody that is within law enforcement that's like has a bias. You're never going to take away that bias. The best way to do that is to not let people who are corrupt and biased within these institutions. However, that is something that's impossible to do. How are you going to know if somebody's racist? The way that we live now is like we all have masks. You know what I mean? I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know your intentions. You don't know my intentions. And you can just flat out just put your mask on and lie to me to my face. Nobody is like truthful in a way. You know what I'm saying? So it's that is a question that it's so hard to answer. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunately racism is never going to leave. As long as there's different races on this planet, racism is something that's going to always stay, you know? Yo, Cap, I'm a commenter on your channel. Appreciate that, Exotic, bro. Appreciate that, man. We're all human beings. We are all human beings, yeah. That's one thing we all need to understand is that the things that divide us are the ideologies, right? But what we have to sort of understand is that throwing all the like the racist idiots out the side, we all have one goal. It's just we all have different ways about going for that goal. It's just miscommunication. That's what I'm saying, you know? The problem with the police, what's good with it, Rico? Everyone check out Rico Sensei if y'all have not done so, man. The problem with the police system is that their rules aren't enforced and they don't suffer any kind of consequences. That's another problem too, is that I agree with that too. I agree. Police, okay, let me put this in perspective for you guys. Let me just peep some game to you guys. And you guys will understand what I'm saying, what I mean by this. Here's the problem with society. This is why I say society is corrupt. I don't want to get too political, because y'all know when I get too political, talk about all this shit, my stream somehow randomly crashes. So let me just say this. And this is the problem with society. Look, I just want y'all to peep this corruption. So it takes, if you want to become a lawyer, say you want to become a lawyer, it takes, you have to finish high school, you have to finish your bachelor's, you have to go to law school. It takes about 8 years to become a lawyer. 8 years of studying to practice law. If you want to become a police officer, all you have to do is go to the academy for a year, have a driver's license. I think you have to know how to swim. And within a year, you can become a police officer enforcing the law. Here's the difference between a lawyer and a police officer. A lawyer practices law before the court. A police officer enforces the law onto the people. So somebody that studied law for only a year can enforce the law within the citizens. And half the time, these police officers don't even understand the law. I can't even tell you the amount of times I'm just walking on the side of the street. This guy is coming up to me telling me, "Can I see your ID?" I'm saying, "Am I being detained, officer?" "No, you're free to go, but I want to see your ID." And I'm sitting there for 40 minutes trying to explain to him, if I'm not being detained, where's the problem? What's the problem? And if I am being detained, tell me what I'm being detained for. Simple. Because I'm not the type of person that's going to fight. You know what I mean? You want to come up with some bullshit that's going to say like, oh yeah, you know what? We had a robbery in the area. That's racist for you to think like, oh yeah, I'm the person that robbed the shit. But if you want to do that, fine. I like to fight fire with fire. I like to fight logically. I'm going to take down your badge number. I'm going to record the whole incident. I'm going to go to the precinct. I'm going to file a complaint. That's the way I am. Do whatever the hell you want to do to me. I'm going to do all of that shit. I'm not the type of person to swing on the police officer. I'm more logical than that. That's a death sentence. You're a minority. You're a person of color. I don't care what you are. Asian, black, Hispanic. You swing on a police officer, that's a death sentence. You're asking for death, bro. Don't ever do shit like that, you know? Don't ever do shit like that. You have to fight logically. Get your boy, get your friend. Record the whole shit. Record the whole thing. Everybody has a phone. Record the whole thing, right? After you're done recording the whole shit, the next day go to the precinct, file the complaint. He has a body cam too. But in case his body cam is not turned on, record the whole thing. Go to the precinct. Fight. You have to fight logically. Then that dude is fired. Then everything. You have to fight this logically. This is how you do it. You know what I mean? So, but the thing with it is like majority of law enforcement, they don't even know the law because they only study it for 1 year. They don't know the law. This guy, that's in every country. That's the law. Majority of countries. That's not like communist or whatever. You want to stop me as a law enforcement officer? You want my name? You want my ID? What am I being detained? Am I being detained? If I'm not being detained, let me go. I don't have to tell you shit. I don't have to tell you where I'm going. But you're sitting there with them for 40 minutes and then they get all antsy. They start putting their hands on their taser and shit. Then you have to just comply. It's illegal. It's racist. But this happens every day. Not just in the States. I don't even live in the States. Y'all know I live in Canada. This happens all the time in Toronto. All the time. Y'all gotta understand this, man. Like, you know what I mean? Now, I don't mean to be on my spiritual shit. I'm just telling y'all. And like I said, if you are a person of color, don't ever retaliate. Don't ever retaliate. Now, I can understand why you would retaliate. Because you guys gotta understand. There's people out there that'll go like, well, if the police officer just comes up to you and asks you for your ID, why don't you just show your ID? There's plenty of people that want to come up, want to say that all the time. Just show your ID, Cap. What's wrong with showing your ID? There's no problem with showing your ID or giving your name or anything like that. There's no problem with that. But you got to understand. Like, when it comes to black people, this shit happens every single week to the majority of us. Every single day there's a cop that comes up to us, tells us, show your ID. And we know the law. We know we don't have to do that, but we still comply. But you get tired. It's like a person that's yelling in your ear every 2 seconds. You get tired. You get annoyed. Eventually you just want to tell them, yo, shut up. Somebody's like blaring in your ear every 2 seconds. Maybe at the first time he does it, you think it's funny. Maybe you think it's funny. Oh shit, he sound funny. Jim Carrey looking ass. He sound funny. He keeps doing it. 5 minutes later, he starts blaring. Okay, bro, chill. He keeps going. Bro, calm down. I told you to chill. He still keeps going. And then eventually you start getting like, yo, bro, I told you to stop, didn't I? That's what it is. It's exactly what it is. We get tired. So when you see people that are swinging on police officers, it's not because they're violent. It's not because they're angry. This shit happens every single day, bro. Every single day. All the time. You're having a bad day. Some stupid ass person tries to mess it up even more. Every single day. On top of that, imagine you know the law. You understand that you don't have to do this, but you're still complying. Just to not deal with the bullshit. Every single day. Right? And on top of that, you got to think of it from this perspective. You got to think of it from this perspective. If I know the law and I know I don't have to do this and I know I have rights and you're infringing on my rights, what does that make me if I comply to what the hell you're saying even though it's illegal? That is essentially, like, the way I look at it, this is how I look at it. What's a slave? A slave is somebody that has no rights. A slave is a person that has no rights. Slaves in society, in my opinion, people that have no rights are prisoners. The reason why prisoners don't have any rights is because they violated They violated the law, therefore they shouldn't be able to have rights that protect them within the law. They shouldn't have those rights. Prisoners are slaves to the state, essentially. So if you come up to me, even though I know I have rights, and you violate my rights, what does that make me if I can't even stand up for my rights? That's another thing. You got to understand. If you're a black person, a minority, this police officer that's coming up to you talking about, let me see your ID, this, that, and the other, all the time. What I'm not saying all of them. Some of them have reasonable cause, but I'm saying like the corrupt ones that do that, and the people that are saying comply to suing that, you're essentially saying that I'm a slave. I don't have any rights. Because I do. If I'm not being detained, why am I being stopped? That's essentially what you're saying, is that I'm a slave because a slave is a person that has no rights. That's what a slave is. Somebody that follows whatever somebody else says. But I have rights to this. I was born in this country. I have rights to this country. So how are you going to illegally do all this bullshit to me and expect me not to preach about and tell you about this? That's not right. So that's another misconception that I want people to understand. You know what I mean? So glad I got on YouTube in the time to catch the stream. Man speaking nothing but the truth. I'm just telling my perspective, because somebody that allows, even though like I said, a slave is somebody with no rights. If you infringe on my rights as a human being of the land, you're essentially equating me to like a prisoner, a slave to the state, even though I haven't committed any crimes for me to be as such. You get what I'm saying? So every single time, that's why it's important as a person of color, as a person, as a minority, as a black person, Asian, whatever. Next time a police officer does some shit like that to you, it's important to question it. For your own humanity, it's important to question it. It's important to be like, yo, what am I being stopped for? And don't fight. Just question. What am I being stopped for, officer? Be polite. I'm always polite. Unless the dude's an asshole with me. Then I'm an asshole. I have no problem being an asshole. You know what I'm saying? But I'm always polite. Hey, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Good. Can I see your ID? Okay. What am I being stopped for? Am I being detained? You have to be respectful. I'm always respectful until some dude says, just let me see your fucking ID. Don't make this hard. Then I'm gonna say, listen, buddy. You know what I mean? That's when I start getting, but it's important as a person of color, as a minority, that you have to keep fighting, because here's the thing, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you keep saying, you want to, people always want to solve problems. If you keep saying, yo, you know what? I'm going to just show my ID whenever he asks for it, because I don't want any problems. They're going to keep treating you like a slave. They're going to go like, oh yeah, these people are not, we can just ask them whenever. They're going to keep treating you like a slave. They're going to keep treating you as a person that has no rights. You keep doing that. They're going to keep treating you like that. We can ask these people for their IDs whenever they want. They won't even doing it, even though it's illegal. We can ask whenever we want, because they're not going to do anything. They're going to keep treating you like a slave. You want to solve problems? You have to give a little bit of resistance. You get what I'm saying? Otherwise, they're going to keep treating you like that. Every single day, they're going to keep coming up to you. Can I see your ID? Officer, am I being detained? No. Okay, you know what? I don't want any problem. Here you go. And they're going to keep doing that to you. They're going to keep treating you as a person that has no rights. If you keep complying with everything that they're saying. That's why, if you're a person of color, you should always question, why am I being stopped, officer? Why are you stopping me? What did I do? If they give you something that's reasonable, go with it. If you think it's corrupt, if they start to get all crazy, like I said, it's not worth your life. This guy puts his hand on his gun or whatever, it's not worth your life. Get your boy to record it. Obviously, when he's confronting you, never put your hand in your pocket. Don't ever do that shit. But get somebody that's around you to record the incident. Fight it in the law. Go to the precinct, sign the papers. You know what I mean? File a complaint. That's how I am. I've never swung on a police officer before. I'm just saying. I would be scared of my people more than the police. Like, okay, what's good with it, Makai? Like, the thing with it is I don't want to talk about the whole black on black crime thing. Because, like, that's a separate incident. That's something that we're solving separately. Like, those are two, people always want to talk about, well, you shouldn't talk about police brutality when there's a black on black crime incident. Yeah, that's a problem. But that's like two separate, I told you this. That's like two separate issues. You know what I mean? What y'all saying? Bless, man. Keep your opinion and let me know. And let me know the first hand from day one. But got to get back to work. All right, Taichi. Appreciate you coming through, man. But let me know what y'all thinking, bro. Let me know what y'all... That's my perspective. Looting is bad. It creates tension. It doesn't justify anything. They take protest as an advantage to do whatever things that you want. It's not justified. I agree. Looting, I don't agree with. I don't like to be stolen from. Therefore, I don't like... Here's the thing. I like to put the rioters and the looters in two separate categories. Because the looters are just people that are just taking just to take. Majority of the looters don't even give a fuck about the issue that's going on. They just want to take. I don't agree with that. But in terms of the rioting, you got to understand, I said this earlier. How many years have people peacefully protested this sort of thing? And it seems like nothing is being done. I understand the rioters' perspective. For years, we've been protesting peacefully. Since Martin Luther King, peaceful protests. Nothing has been done. Nobody's doing anything. Everybody's just, okay, you know what? We'll just say we're gonna do it, but for years, this has been happening. So it seems like I said, and I said this before, in order to get a little bit of, get the ball rolling a little bit, get everything happening, there has to be incentive. There has to be something that fuels the fire. Oh, my citizens are this angry about this issue. Something has to be done. Type shit. That's what I'm talking about. I understand the rioters' perspective. In my opinion, like I said, I still don't feel like violence. I agree with an idea of fight fire with fire. I agree with that idea because at this point you can't do anything else. Like I said, at this point you can't do anything else. Fight fire with fire. But I don't agree with. I agree with doing it in a separate way. Looting, though, I don't agree with that. Nobody should be looting anything, in my opinion. You know what I mean? There's better avenues. Because like I said, the majority of looters don't give a fuck about this issue. If you give a fuck about the issue, I can maybe understand. I understand your perspective. If you don't even care about what's going on, you just coming out to steal, which majority of people are doing. They're just stealing. I don't agree with that. Unfortunately. Sup, Captain? What's good with it, Roto? All respects to Floyd. All respects to Floyd and his family. Everybody RIP in the chat, please. I get their point of view and their frustration. Protesting for years, hoping to change, and it never happens. But it doesn't justify looting and causing vandalism. I agree. But I understand their perspective. You know what I mean? Looting, I don't feel like looting is going to solve... I don't feel like going into a Target and just ransacking the whole Target is going to do a lot, you know? But I still... It's like... The main thing that you got to get when it comes to situations like this, you got to understand the perspective. At least if you can understand the perspective, there's something behind it, you know? If you can understand the perspective. So that's my whole thing. The spam, him getting on my nerves. Don't know about the Trump thing at Bond. RIP, RIP, yes sir. RIP. What is this looting about? The looting is because people are what's good, Catherine? The looting is because people are angry, you know? People are angry, and so, you know, when people are angry, people have different ways to sort of vent out their anger. So the looting is kind of, in a ways, out of anger, one. Two, it's to show a message that, you know, if there's no justice, there's no peace. Which, in a way, I get it. But at the same time, there has to be a better way to do it. But it seems like it's miscommunication from both sides. It really is miscommunication from both sides. You have one half of people, both sides don't want to comply, if that makes sense. Both sides. You know what I mean? You have the legislate, you have the government and everything, and you have the people, and they both don't want to comply. You have Trump that's coming out and saying, for the people that are looting and the people that are pillaging and all this stuff, we will have our military get these people. And then you have the looters and everything that are just constantly fighting back. It's just a mismatch, if that makes sense, you know? Why are people setting things on fire? People are angry. People are angry, like, at the end of the day, you know? So it's like, the more destruction you can cause, the better you can get your people to see that this is a problem. Like I said, the government's looking at this going like, our citizens are really pissed off about this issue. Something needs to be done. That's the whole mindset that's happening here. If we can create enough of a ruckus, then something has to be done. And in a way, it is working. Because the guy, one of the cops, got arrested. Now, I don't feel like if all this protesting was happening, I don't even think they would have arrested him, if I'm being honest with you. If all of this was not brought to light, I don't think it would have even been arrested. So thank God for social media. Thank God for the internets. Because if that was the case, this would have been brushed under the rug. You know how easy it is for law enforcement to brush some shit like that under the rug? And that's why in a way, I have a problem with law enforcement. Because when this shit happened, when the whole George Floyd incident occurred, what did the Minneapolis Police Department say? The Minneapolis Police Department said, listen, we did what we did because he was resisting. Then the footage came out and showed that he wasn't resisting at all. You lied. You flat out lied. And you lied because you knew it was going to be easy to say, oh yeah, this guy was resisting. And majority of people would have went like, oh yeah, he's a black guy, like, by a police officer. Yeah, of course he was resisting. So it's like, thank God for, like, footage, for the internet, for all of this shit. But, like, you guys got to understand, like, you have one side that's an institution that's kind of corrupt. Not kind of, really corrupt. Because, like, you got to understand, law enforcement in the United States, in America, is very corrupt. It's very corrupt. So corrupt that they understand that we can just say this guy was resisting with no footage and people will believe us. It's a black guy. Of course people will believe us. That's bullshit. Absolutely bullshit. So you got to understand, like, it's all of this. It's a combination of all of this shit. It's a combination of everything. Plus there was a woman that called the police in New York and said that there's an African-American man threatening my life when he was just telling her to put her dog on a leash. You see how easy it is? I don't think you guys understand that it's that easy. It's that easy. The cops could have came in with guns and said he's threatening. That means he has a gun, a knife. That's like attempted murder right there. My life would be flashing before my eyes. A woman came and said that shit. Called the police saying that shit. Acting all hysterical saying that he's threatening me. I'd be like, Jesus, God save me, please. It's a combination of all of this. The fact that the police did this. Not only police did this, they lied about it, saying he was resisting when he wasn't resisting. This bullshit happened in the news with the woman. It's like black people are getting pissed off going like, yo, do these white people think that they can do whatever the hell they want to us? It's kind of like, it's like that. That's the mindset. That's why people are getting pissed off lighting shit on fire. I can understand that frustration in a way. As a black man, I can understand that frustration. You see, do you know how bullshit that is? You're just telling somebody, yo, can you please put your dog on a leash? Because that's the law. Calls the police saying, I'm gonna call the police because it's that easy. And she knows it's that easy. Crazy. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. You guys got to understand that. It's that easy. For the people that are like not minorities, not black, it is that easy. Then the police come, guns toted. If he didn't have that shit recorded, who knows, man? I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. It's a combination of all of this shit that happened. That's why people are angry. That's why people are lighting shit, burning shit, breaking shit, getting angry, destroying shit. It's a combination. It's not just this one incident. Remember when I told you it's like, why does a black person swing on a police officer? You see these videos of black people swinging on police officers. Why do black people swing on police officers? It's not that one incident that made that nigga swing. That's not what it is. He's not going to swing on a police officer because that one police officer stopped him. No, he's going to swing on that police officer because he's been stopped by law enforcement unjustly for years. So eventually he just gets he snaps, he gets tired. We all snapped before. We've all snapped before. So he gets tired, swings on the police officer, goes to jail. It's an injustice. And like I told you, I've dealt with this shit so many fucking times where I'm walking the street. I'm not doing anything. I happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm a black guy walking in a white neighborhood, and I happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong fucking time. Stops me. Where are you headed? Where are you going? Turns into a verbal argument. And you get pissed off because you gotta understand some of these police officers, they disrespect you. Talking to you as if you're a slave, man. And I'm not no slave, man. I was born in this fucking country. You know what I mean? I have the rights of this country. She's talking to me as if I don't have any rights. Even though you're not being detained, I can still get your name and I can still get your ID. What? The fuck I look like to you, a slave? No, you can't. I know the law. Don't pull that bullshit on me. I'm not one of these people that don't know the law. The one class in school that I studied, and I told you guys this, the one fucking class in school that I gave a fuck about, that I studied really hard, was law. Because if you're a person of color in this country, you need to know the law of the country. Otherwise, you'll be taken advantage of. You have to know the law. Have to. If you're not subbed, then subscribe to Captain Square. Appreciate that, Makaya. Everyone subscribe to the channel if y'all have not done so, man. I appreciate y'all, bro. Kyle Wong. What the hell did I walk into? Bro, we're just having a debate. We're just having, not a debate, we're just having a discussion, Kyle. We're talking about, the bullshit that happened, that's occurring. We're trying to understand different perspectives, you know what I mean? We're trying to understand the Black Lives Matter, the All Lives Matter perspective, which, first of all, I want to talk about that too. People that are going out of their way on social media to say all lives matter, first of all, you're not wrong. All lives matter. All lives do matter. Your life matters. My life matters. I don't want to see, regardless of the color of your skin, I don't care if you're white, black, Asian, orange, whatever. You as a person, you matter. But I want you to understand that in this context, that's not the correct context to be using that shit in. You can't be saying, when this is an issue with regards to a black person being killed by the police, how are you gonna then say everybody's life matters? That's not the right context. That's like, it frustrates me a little bit because it's like, that, but you're just trying to fight. And that's the problem with people. They always want to fight something. There's always gonna be, regardless of how much injustice it was, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna fight it. So even though the Holocaust is a shitty thing, there's somebody out there that's gonna try to justify it. Oh, the Crusades, the Jews, it's payback. No. There's going to be always somebody that's going to be out there that's trying to justify it, which pisses me off, because you got to look at it from this perspective. You saying all lives matter when there's a Black Lives Matter shit that's going on, that black issue that's going on. That's like Asia invading Europe. Let's just say, for example, hypothetically, Asia, which is a big ass continent, invaded Europe, which is a small ass continent right here. And Asia's like this big shit. And Asia invaded Europe. They start going in there, they start pillaging, burning houses, burning buildings, doing all this shit, right? The European people wake up and say, hold on, all this shit is happening. Wait, justice for Europe. Why? Like, these people, everybody, look what the Asian continent is doing to us. Justice for Europe. They're invading our land. They're destroying everything for no reason. They make the hashtag. European people make the hashtag. Justice for Europe. That hashtag goes viral. Would you then create a hashtag saying justice for every continent? Justice for every country. Justice for everybody. Would you do that shit? They made a hashtag called Justice for Europe because they're being pillaged and destroyed. Their houses are being destroyed. Their families are being destroyed. They create the hashtag Justice for Europe. Are you going to create the hashtag Justice for everybody? It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. It's stupid. You're not going to do that. Why? Because the issue is in Europe. That's happening. The issue is in Europe. That's happening. People in Europe are getting killed. They're getting destroyed. So you're going to make the hashtag just... So it's insane to me how you're going to then go like that. To me, that I want to understand anybody's perspective with regards to that. That doesn't make any sense. Because I don't think any of you, if they made that Justice for Europe, you're going to say Justice for Europe. Oh yeah, they're getting killed. I'm going to show some support. Justice for... So how are people going to then go like, you know what? I see that you're saying Black Lives Matter, but really all lives matter. They do. Every life matters, but not in this context. In the context of the situation that's happening right now, that doesn't make sense. If everybody was being killed for the color of their skin, you can say that. But how are you going to say that when this issue that happened recently was simply because it wasn't because he was committing a heinous crime. This man didn't commit murder, but he was then murdered. It doesn't make sense to me. Somebody please try to explain that shit to me. Remember that scene in Naruto where Pain tells Naruto about the cycle of hatred? I do. People are going to hate. Stop tweaking about dislikes. Yeah, people are going to hate, man. Let people hate, bro. Guys, share the stream on Twitter. Get more people to view the stream. Yeah, I appreciate that. If y'all want to share the stuff on your social media platforms, man, have a discussion about it, let me know. But I want you guys to understand that perspective. Because I know a lot of you guys are young. And it's easier for you to see all lives matter. Oh yeah, all lives matter. Not in this context. Not in this context. Because like I said, if Europe is being invaded by Asia, you're going to say justice for Europe. Nobody's going to say justice for the whole world. Justice for the world. Nobody's going to fucking do that. The problem is in Europe. So why are you saying justice for the world? That's dumb. That doesn't make sense. So the problem right now is that a black person was killed for the color of his skin, pretty much. That's the way I look at it. There was no need for you to put your fucking knee on this guy's neck even though he told you he can't breathe. And you kept fucking doing it. You didn't care. You looked at him and said, you know what? Who cares? Even if the way that guy looked at this guy on the floor, you know what? Even if he dies, it don't matter. I'm probably going to get off with this. That's his mindset. Killed simply because of who he is. Because of how he looks like. So the problem that exists now is for black people. So how are you going to then turn around and say everybody matters? Were you killed? Was your mom killed? Like what? Come on, bro. You got to think of it from that perspective. I want y'all to understand that, bro. Understand from that perspective. Everyone like the stream too, guys. Everyone like the stream too. I'm wondering why here, where I live, people are doing nothing. They're just sitting there as if nothing happened at the moment. Because people, you got to understand how human beings are. Human beings, if it's something that has nothing to do with you, you won't care. If it has nothing to do with you, you won't care. And I don't, listen, here's my perspective, and I want you guys to understand this too. Now, I don't care if you're black, white, or whatever in the chat. I want you to understand this too. If you don't care about black issues, black problems, black whatever, fine. If you say that you're a white person and you don't care about black issues, you don't have to care about black issues. Fine. That don't even matter. You can say that. I don't care about black issues. Therefore, I'm not going to protest. Therefore, I'm not going to do anything. Perfect. Perfect. But if you're going to do that, don't switch up. Don't switch up. And what I mean by don't switch up is don't then, if you don't care about black issues, don't steal from the culture. Don't then post your TikToks listening to Travis Scott music, liking rap music, all this shit where black people are getting lit and all this shit, creating all these dances. Don't do that. Don't eat soul food. Don't do none of this shit. If you don't care about it, don't steal from the culture. Because if you don't care about the shit that's going on, you don't care about the culture. You shouldn't care about the culture either. That's my perspective. You shouldn't care about the culture. So don't listen to rap music. Don't make beats or whatever. Don't eat soul food. Don't do none of this shit. All this shit that black people did, don't do it. That's my perspective. But the problem with people is that they don't care, but then they're still going to take. Which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They don't care, but then they're going to take. There are people out there that'll flat out call black people the N-word with a hard R. They'll hard R black people, but then they'll make TikToks listening to Travis Scott or Drake or whatever. They'll hard R black people on the regular, but then they'll do all these dances that black people make, do all these trends that it's ridiculous. You're stealing, and I'm the thief. It's ridiculous. If you don't care about black issues, don't take from the cult. That's my perspective. Now you might think, oh, that's a little bit, kind of assertive. That's a little bit, but in a way, you can't just take and not care about what happens. You can't do that shit. You can't do that shit, bruh. Black people don't have culture? Who said that? What's good with it, Yaya? Everyone check out my boy Yaya if you haven't done so as well. Everyone join the Discord too if y'all have not joined the Discord. Let me know. Everyone share and like the stream. Human beings are selfish. If it has nothing to do with them, they don't give a shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, to me, it's crazy. Because like I said, if you don't care, you don't care. Like, okay, for example, let's just say this. I like Chinese food. And I do. I like Chinese food. Right? So, I enjoy eating Chinese food. When I go to school, there's like this little Chinese restaurant across the street. Me and my friends go. We eat there. Like, when we're at school. I like it. I enjoy the food. So, when I'm with my boy who happens to be a Chinese dude, right? When all this corona bullshit is happening, people are disrespecting his ass because of all this corona shit happening. I'm going to stand up and go like, no. Don't do that shit. Because I remember one time we were on the subway, some guy, he sneezes. Some guy does this bullshit. I flat out went up to that guy and I was like, yo, don't do that bullshit. I see what you're doing. And you stand up. Because that aspect, as crazy as it sounds, that aspect of the culture, I enjoy. So when some bullshit is happening, I'm going to stand up. That's how human beings should be. But people are selfish. They want to take. Profit from black culture. Profit from listening to rap music, making rap music, doing all this shit. But when it's time to fight for the culture, fight for the rights of the people of the culture, nobody cares. It's selfishness, man. It's selfishness, bro. And the political system that we live in allows it. Nobody's gonna persecute anybody because everybody has rights. If you don't care, you don't care. The political system you live in allows this kind of shit, allows this kind of injustice. It allows somebody to go up to you and and stereotype you, say racist shit to you, do all this shit, and that person cannot be prosecuted because of freedom of speech. Freedom of speech. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, freedom of speech doesn't even exist. Because some Klansman can come up to you and say all the shit in the world that he wants to you. If some this is gonna sound extreme. If some Syrian guy who's for the freedom fighters over there starts talking about, I support the freedom fighters, this, that, and the other, that guy's gonna get arrested. That guy's gonna get arrested for saying that kind of shit. So, I don't know. But then tell me what our culture is. Our culture is the mainstream culture of the society right now. Our culture is the culture that makes everything cool in society. We're the culture that starts trends. That's our culture. What do you mean, what's our culture? I don't understand what you mean. I'm doing work, bro, while watching Cap. Yeah, everybody, like, if y'all just want to keep the stream, because I'm not going to be doing anything crazy on the stream. If you want to just, like, do your homework and just listen, treat this stream like a podcast. You can do that. Your culture is what makes you. That's your culture. Yes, sir. We built the country pretty much. We innovated the hair, food, clothing, literally. We front, but it consistently gets stolen. And that's my problem. See, Yaya, I'm glad you said that. Because this is my problem. Do you know why black people are so, like, when there's a white rapper, you know why black people are so, like, hesitant? Always very hesitant and very cautious of that white rapper? Reason why is because, like, every single mainstream form of music black people have made. You know what I mean? Country music, jazz music, rap music, rock and roll music, pop music. All of these, but then everything was taken away. And the last one we're left with, hip-hop. So now when you see all these white rappers coming on the scene, it's not that black people are being racist. Cautious. You're white and you're a rapper. Okay. Are you going to be disrespectful within this house of hip-hop, or are you going to understand the food that's been given to you? You get what I'm saying? There's some rappers that don't understand that. That's why black people are so cautious. So when you see a black person going like, yo, this white rapper is corny, understand that it's because everything was taken. You got to understand, everything was taken. Everything that we do is taken, and other people get credit for it. You see girls nowadays, they're trying to, like, you know, go to the gym, work out, get their ass fat, get their lips big. Everyone's going like, oh, Kylie Jenner motivated me to do that. Kylie Jenner? Drake? What are you saying? Kylie Jenner. But she's celebrity, so she can take credit for all of this shit. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Facts, man, facts. So you have to understand, bruh. This nigga said Asians are at the forefront. This nigga said Asians are at the forefront of hair culture. I wouldn't say that. I mean, you see all these people nowadays that are making their hair into braids. You got all these people that are making their hair into, like, dreads, twists. All of this is black culture, man. Like, you know what I mean? You got all these rap people that happen to not be black, and they're all making their hair look like this, all curly, afro-y, you know? So I'm just saying, bruh. Speedy, what's good? To be honest, I think the racist ideology won't really change for a long time. Yes, protests are going to change it slowly, but the main idea will still be here. Racism will always exist as long as there is corruption. There will always be racism. As long as there's people that are corrupt in their mindset, there will always be racism. And there's also going to be sexism. And there's also going to be all these like ageism. There's always gonna be all these isms. You know what I mean? As long as there's corruption in society. The problem with corruption is like human beings are naturally corrupt people. We're naturally corrupt people, beings. We the way we are is we're corrupt. There's always gonna be one person that's gonna try to corrupt some shit. There's gotta be always one person that's gonna try to fuck up the whole shit. There's always gonna be one person that you put their hand out for them and they're gonna bite it. Bite the hand that feeds them, which is corruption. There's always gonna be one person that's gonna do some shit like that. Racism will never end. But like, I don't want to bring a son or a daughter into this world knowing all this bullshit that's happening, and they're gonna have to deal with the same bullshit that I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? On a regular basis, go outside, police officers fuck with me, bro. On a regular basis, I'm just talking all facts. I go to school, they fuck with me. I'm walking the street, they fuck with me. As a matter of fact, I'm not even driving. Majority of the time, I'm just walking. I get stopped. And I'm not even from the US. I told you guys that. I live in Toronto. I'm not from the US. This shit happens everywhere in the world. Don't get it twisted. This shit happens everywhere in the world. In the UK, the US, Australia, everywhere. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta, like I said, as long as there's corruption, this shit will continue to keep happening. So people that are rioting on the streets right now, they're seeing all this corruption that's occurring. They're seeing all this shit happening. Nothing is being done. Everyone's staying corrupt. They're angry. They're gonna burn shit. They're gonna break shit. Do I agree with looting, breaking shit? No. But people are pissed off. People are angry, man. What are you gonna do? How you gonna calm people's angry? Just telling them I'm sorry is not gonna do shit. Telling them I'm sorry is not gonna do shit. You get what I'm saying? I'm Asian and I'm disgusted by my own kind. Why do you say that, Kyle? Let me know. Cap, do other Akinator vids. Hopefully in the future. I might have to do a stream later. Do a stream later, Makai. I want to see you stream, bro. I want to understand everybody's perspective, because like this shit you gotta like I said, if you are a black person, and I was inspired by Daquan because Daquan said that shit. If you're a black person with an audience, bro, the least you can do is talk about this issue. And I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna talk about it. I was gonna stream about it. But he said, you're a black person with the audience. The least you can do is talk about this. The least of what you can do for all this bullshit that's happening to your brothers and sisters is talk about this shit with your audience and understand their perspective, and they understand your perspective. Now, I'm glad y'all understand my perspective that I've been talking about so far. You know what I mean? I'm glad y'all understand it. But that's the least you can do. I encourage any person, any black person that has an audience, make a video, stream, do something about it. You know what I mean? That's the least you can do. You know, you've been blessed with this group of people that love what you do. That's the least you can do. You know? This shit has gotten too far. Anytime a cop sees us black people in a hoodie, he must have a weapon. Yeah, it's that kind of mentality is gonna take a while for police to like deal. I don't actually, as a matter of fact, I don't know if that's gonna ever even change. That might not even ever change. That shit is bullshit. Because what did Martin Luther King say? Martin Luther King said, I have a dream that my children won't be judged by the color of the skin, but by the content of their character. It's like the opposite nowadays. The reason police stop, I'm just gonna talk from my perspective. The reason why police stop me is because of how I look. I go out on the street dressed like this. Apparently, I look like a gangbanger. Regardless of what you think, that's what police look at me as. And one police told me that shit. He told me, "Are you in a gang? Are you in this? All this bullshit." I told him, I'm not in a gang, bruh. Keep in mind, this is when I was 19, when I was like working almost 40 hours a week. I was trying to get my YouTube off the ground. I had a job. I was going to school full time. oh, I was working hard. Imagine like you working this hard in society only for him to tell you that you're a low life person in a gang, trapping. It's disrespectful. You're gonna get pissed off. You're gonna go like, what? I'm doing all this shit. You're telling me that? It's bullshit, man. I'm just saying. Tell me the truth. Speak of. That's what we've been doing this whole time, fam. Rioting is the voices of the people unheard. MLK, it was apparently going to happen. MLK predicts everything, man. That's my dude. Everyone's definition of culture is different. I respect that, but please don't bring in other unnecessary things to try and prove your opinion, Makai. I really want to understand Makai's perspective, because the way Makai sees it as is, I feel like Makai is combining two separate issues. I understand the issue of black on black crime. Black on black crime is an issue. That's a problem. We're killing each other. You know what I mean? Somewhere in the world right now, there's two black kids that shot each other. You know what I mean? And they're bleeding on the floor, dying right now. In about a minute and a half, they're going to be dead. And they're thinking about their whole life. Was this worth it? This, that, and the other. Was this gang shit worth it? Should I have? That's a problem. That shit breaks my heart. The fact that these young kids, they might be 16 years old, 17 years old. That shit breaks my heart. But that's a completely different issue. That's what people need to understand. That's a completely different issue. And there have been strides to solve that shit. After school programs, breakfast programs, throughout the communities, fundraisers. In the, like, this year and last year were like the first years, I think, in history where black people like raised more money than they've ever had trying to fund these after school programs, these breakfast programs, recreation programs. You have all these black celebrities that are donating. Dr. Dre, Kendrick Lamar, they donated like $10 million to build recreation centers for the kids to play basketball in a safe place. You know what I mean? So there are strides that are being taken. But like I said, it's the same thing as this problem. It's not going to happen overnight. But that's the thing. Racist people are always going to go like, black on black crime, solve your problem. It's not something that's going to be solved overnight. It's a problem that exists, but it's not going to be something that's going to be solved overnight. But in my opinion, black people nowadays are more spiritually aware than they have been since like the 60s. They're more spiritually aware now. Black people are waking up, especially all this bullshit that's happening. They're waking up, bruh. We're donating more money to different causes. I donated money to the George Floyd shit because it's a cause that you need to donate money to. I donated. You know what I'm saying? I donate money on the regular in the lower income neighborhoods that I used to grow up in to build recreation centers, do all this shit. I do that. I volunteer in those places every weekend. You know what I mean? Because I don't forget where I come from. I don't forget about none of that shit. And I think black people are waking up and understanding this more. So in about 15 years, a lot of this stuff is going to be better handled. That's the first thing. But it's not going to be handled overnight. Yeah, there's people that are still killing each other in Chirac, nigga. Of course. This is not a problem that's going to be solved overnight. Same thing with this issue. Trayvon Martin was killed, 6 years ago? And he was killed in a worse fashion that he was killed in George Floyd was killed in a more heinous way. Pretty much suffering to death than Trayvon. And it's been 6 years. What is the progression? So people are quick to go like, well, work on your black on black. There has been progression there. Where's the progression in this shit with law enforcement? Oh, we're going to put more money into training better law enforcement officers. Where the fuck was the training? It's been 6 years. Where the fuck is the training? Where's anything that's happening? Nothing. It's bullshit to just keep you quiet. Okay, we're going to put more money towards it. Stay quiet. Come on, bro. Captain, my dad is African, and my white neighbor said he's bringing a crime to the neighborhood just because he's black. Why does he always got to be like that way? People are assholes, man. People are just, there's no way to explain that kind of shit. It's like people are gonna say that. It's the same thing when I'm walking and the police officer stops me and says that I think I'm gonna investigate you because I think you're gonna. It's ignorance. Ignorance. You know what I mean? And I don't mean to put white people on the spot, but most white people are not racist, guys. You guys gotta understand this. Most white people are not racist. It's more ignorance than racism. Like white people will go like, why are black people swinging on police officers? But it's ignorance in the sense that they don't understand this shit happens every single day. So you're gonna get pissed off eventually. And you know, once you get pissed off because this shit keeps happening every single day, you get annoyed, you're having your bad day, sometimes you're gonna swing. And there's some brothers that swing like that. It's ignorance. I don't expect them to understand that though. Because if you haven't been in my shoes, you won't understand that perspective. So it's ignorance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand that. It's just ignorance, but it's not ignorance from a bad place. It's just ignorance because they don't understand. You know what I mean? You see all these white kids throwing up these gang signs and shit like that. Ignorance. They don't understand like that. Doing this shit in certain areas, you'll get killed. Throwing up the wrong sign in a certain area. They don't understand that shit though. You know what I'm saying? It's ignorance. But I don't blame white people for the ignorance. You know what I mean? As long as you're the type of person that's ignorant that I can explain shit to you. If I can explain it to you, fine. If I can't even explain, if you're ignorant to the point where I can't even explain it to you, then you're pretty much racist. If you don't understand that idea, why do black people swing on police officers? Understand this shit happens every single day, bruh. You gotta understand this shit happens every single day. The first time he stops you, you show your ID. The second time you show. The third time you show. The fourth time, you start getting pissed off. What am I doing? That's a crime. I'm just walking. You start getting pissed off, you start questioning. Fifth, sixth time, you might swing. Because when this shit happens every single day, sometimes multiple times a day, you're gonna get pissed off. It's the same thing when somebody's barking in your ear. You're gonna get pissed off. You're gonna go like, bro, shut. If your friend is yelling in your ear, you're gonna tell him, yo, shut up. And if he doesn't shut up, eventually you're gonna start tensing up and going like, bro, shut up. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get pissed off. You're gonna go like, yo, bro, why do you keep fucking doing that? It's the same thing. But however, if you're a person that, like, if you happen to be a white person that doesn't understand that, you're just gonna go like, well, black people are violent. It's ignorance. It's just ignorance. And you can't do, every human being is ignorant. There's shit that I'm ignorant about. You know what I'm saying? There's shit that I'm ignorant about. So everybody has an ignorance to them. And you guys got to understand that. That's just all it is. That's just all it is. Bro, Makai can't even find your channel, Makai Reacts. It's called Makai Reacts. His name like that and then put reacts. The most bullshit thing is that cops only need weeks to study for training law while lawyers. Yeah, we even talked about that, Speedy. We said that. We even said that. We talked about that earlier. We're like, yo, it takes a lawyer 8 years of school. 8 years of school to go to school to practice law. It takes a police officer 1 year, less than 1 year in the academy of studying the law. And now he enforces it. The difference between the lawyer and the police officer, the lawyer practices the law. The police officer enforces it. And they've only been studying for a year. That's how corrupt the society is. That's how corrupt. That's why shit like this is happening. Because corruption at an institutional level. You see what I'm saying? When it's institution. Corruption at an institutional level. And I'm not even saying institutional rate. I'm just saying corruption at an institutional level. Because this is an institutional level. 8 years to become a practice law. Practice. 1 year to enforce law. And half the times when they're enforcing the law, they don't even know what they're doing. I can't explain to you the amount of times I'm just walking. He's telling me, if I ask for your eye, how many times has a cop, for any of the brothers in the chat, how many times has the cop come up to you? Listen, I don't care what you're talking about. If I ask for your ID, give me your ID. I don't care about it. How many times? That's not how the law works, bro. Law does not work like that. If I'm being detained, tell me what I'm being detained for. Here you go. Whether I think it's bullshit or not, I'm going to fight later. That's how I am. I'm going to record the whole incident. I'm going to fight it later in the precinct. That's the way I am. So if you tell me I'm detaining you because I think there was a robbery in the area, I think you did it. It's kind of racist for you to go like, I did it just because of how I look. But fine, I'll show you my ID, but I'm going to record the whole incident and I'm going to send it to the precinct the next day. I'm going to file the paperwork. I'm going to say this officer, this badge number, this, that. Get all your information. And I'm going to get you fucking fired. And I might sue your bitch ass for that bullshit that you did. Depending on how serious the situation was. You handcuff me, you do all this bullshit, I might sue your bitch ass. That's how you fight it logically. That's the way I am. So even though it's bullshit, I'm going to get you back in the end. Because the way that you fight the battle is you don't win the battle, you win the war. So even though I'm outside battle, I won the war. This dude is fired now. His whole shit is fucked up. And I took him for everything he has. It's over. That's the way I am. And I've done that before. Because there's no place for corruption. So there's times where they've done that shit. I suspect you of a crime. I'm detaining you for this, even though it's some bullshit. Okay, here you go, officer. He's surprised. Why is he so, like, compliant now? Because I know. I know exactly what I'm going to do. My boy is recording right there. He has everything recorded, documented. Put that, sign that with the paperwork when I go to the precinct the next day. Badge number, name, everything. Done. It's over. You got to think about it smart. You got to think about it from a smart perspective. Hi, Daniel. What's good with it, Daniel? How you doing? I lost faith in humanity for now. Wait, hold on. I lost faith in humanity. Where's that one comment? I lost faith in humanity for now. So, yeah, I mean, all this shit that's happening, it's unfortunate, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. It's unfortunate. The world is so fucked, man. Big facts, bro. KKK are just idiots. That's like besides the point. KKK will, that's just ignorance. Pure ignorance. The man got arrested for being suspicious and he was black. They searched him and found out he was an FBI agent. I saw that. Yeah, but guess what that guy did? You saw that video of that guy doing that? What did he do? Okay, put your handcuffs on me. Put your handcuffs on me. Show me. Then they pull out his ID. Saw that he was an FBI agent. So and now that guy had everything documented. Posted it on social media. And I know for a fact he went to the precinct and got those two fucking fired. That's how you fight this thing. That's how you fight this thing. That's the best way to fight it. That's how you get them, like, really get them. You know what I'm saying? Sorry I got here late. I'm not used to early streams. Yeah. Hope you guys are having a nice day. I hope you guys are having a nice day too, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This whole racism shit is still gonna be because of the KKK. The KKK is not... That's not... See, that's like... understand y'all are young, so y'all like, oh shit, the Ku Klux Klan, this, that, and the other. Y'all are young, so I can understand why y'all would say that, but like, in realistically, it's less about like that kind of racism. It's more of racism at an institutional level. You know what I mean? It's less about racism. Here's the thing. I'd rather you come up to me and openly call yourself a racist and say, I don't like black people. I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like all of this bullshit. I think that y'all are disgusting people. I'd rather you come up to me and tell me that shit versus you pretending like you're not a racist. You know that fucking music video, Joyner Lucas, I'm not racist? I hate that kind of shit. That's the kind of shit I fucking hate. When somebody's racist and they do some bullshit like that. That's the kind of racism that I fucking hate. I'd rather you openly say that bullshit to me rather than going like, I'm not racist, but, black people do commit a lot of murders. Y'all do murder a whole lot. Realistically speak, I'm not racist. But realistically speaking, I do think, there's something fishy about George Floyd. I think he was resisting. And realistically speaking, if you guys didn't commit so many murders, maybe this would have never happened. I'm not racist, though. I'm not racist. But realistically speaking, that's the kind of shit I fucking hate. Hate that shit. So much, bruh. So much. That's the kind of racism that's retarded. You know what? Like, you know what? Not to make this too political, but you know what? Fucking, what's his name? I'm not American, so I don't fucking remember all these politicians' name. Joe Biden. See what Joe Biden did? I think a week ago on the Breakfast Club. You don't vote for me. You know what he said? If you're voting for Trump over me, then let me tell you something. You're not black. That's the kind of shit I hate. You're subconsciously and indirectly telling me I have to vote for you. Otherwise, it's demeaning to my race. That's the kind of shit that I hate. I'd rather you come up to me. I'm a racist. I hate black people. All this bullshit. Than you putting on a fucking mask. Putting a mask on. You know what I'm saying? You putting a fucking mask on. And then your true colors finally come out when somebody proves you wrong. Like, you know, one of those kids that you prove them wrong in an argument. Now all of a sudden they get racist. How many times you've got into a Call of Duty lobby? You're arguing with this fucking kid. Like, say, for example, I'm better than you in a quick-scoping 1v1 match. You versus him in a quick-scoping 1v1 match. You fucking beat him. All of a sudden, now he starts slurring all these racist shit at you. You know what? You're just a fucking... I hate your fucking... I'm gonna shoot your... That's the kind of shit that I hate. That's the worst. That's the worst type of racist, man. That's what we call a closet racist, ladies and gentlemen. That's a closet racist. Those are the worst types. But in this society, there's so many of those. Because of cancel culture, they don't want to come out and say it. I'd rather you just come out and say it. But nobody's going to do that shit. There's so many of those. So many of those, bro. Yo, I feel you straight up. Oh, man. I want the cops to be accountable and teach people being detained better. It's the kind of racism where they don't realize they're being racist. Exactly. No. There's a difference between ignorance and racism, guys. There's a difference between ignorance. If you are ignorant, like I said, I don't blame you if you're ignorant. Because if you're ignorant, you're ignorant. Like, I don't know what's happening in the Middle East. I just know what the news outlets are telling me here. So when the news outlets are saying, like, yo, all these people are bombing the American soldiers, this, that, you might be ignorant and go like, oh, shit, these fucking, like, people in Iraq, they're bad people. But then you take a trip to Iraq for whatever reason, and you see the people there, and you realize not all of them are fucking bombing everything, not doing all this bullshit. You know what I mean? It's your own ignorance. But you learn, you go like, oh, the Iraqi people are good people. They're not bad people. The Afghani people are good people. They're not bad people. It's your ignorance. So when a white person is ignorant to the idea that, remember I gave you the example, a black person swinging on the police officer. If white people might be ignorant and go like, yo, these black people are so violent. They swing on police officers. They do all this shit. They're violent people. Ignorance, right? But what they don't understand is this shit happens every single day. So you get tired. You get pissed off. You get annoyed. Like I said, it's like a siren in your ear. Eventually, anybody's going to get pissed off and say, yo, stop. And you get tired. And sometimes everybody snaps. So they just, because this shit happens every day. Like I said, multiple times a day. It's ignorance. But like some white people, they won't understand that. Unfortunately, they won't understand that kind of shit. So when they see, they don't understand that this shit happens every single day. That's why people swing sometimes, because they get frustrated and annoyed. It's ignorance. But as long as you can learn from your ignorance, that's fine. The worst type of person is somebody that understands everything. Understands everything. Black people commit 50% of the murder in the country. Okay. You got to understand the fact that black people live in impoverished areas. Anybody that lives in impoverished areas is more likely to commit crime. What they don't want you to see is the FBI statistics of black people that live in middle-class neighborhoods that commit no crime. Less crime than any other race. Black middle-class neighborhoods commit no crime. That's what they don't want you to know. You know what I'm saying? It's shit like this. Subtle ignorance. That's all it is. Because if you go to a black middle-class neighborhood, there's less crime than any other race. Look it up. Than any other race. But they don't want you to know that. That's all I'm saying, bro. The easiest resolve for now, we need to build a pass for cops they're accountable for their actions. It needs to be a bill that anything unjust towards racism will make them accountable as well. I don't think that shit will ever be passed anytime soon. Like, because the thing with it is everybody's perspective on racism is a different thing. There's people that don't think this George Floyd incident is racist. There's people that are trying to excuse this guy's actions, as being a mistake. He didn't know that this guy was like, couldn't breathe even though he said he couldn't breathe. He didn't know. There's people that are trying to excuse this man's actions as being not racist. He didn't kill this guy for the color of his skin. There's people that genuinely think that. They think it's an accident. All of these incidents, Trayvon Martin, George Floyd, Philando Castile, Mike, but they think all of this shit is coincidence. It's just, you live in fantasy land, in my opinion. You think all of everything, maybe one or two isolated incidents, sure. You think all of this shit is coincidence? You live in fantasy land, first of all. But there's people that are trying to accuse, because how are you going to decide what is racist, what is not racist? Do we have a law that decides what is racist, what is not racist? Racism comes in so many shapes, so many forms. I don't even think that they can. I think they can pass a law saying that cops should be accountable for what they do. But at the same time, you got to look at this from a societal standpoint. There's less cops in society more than ever because of all this bullshit that's happening with regards to law enforcement, how people look at law enforcement. They need more cops in society. You pass a bill like that, it's going to make people not want to become police officers. Now people, all this stuff, I'm accountable. I can be charged if the government's not by my side. I don't want to be a cop. And there's already less cops in society now. There's not as much police officers governing areas that need to be governed. There's not enough because of shit like this. Cops are losing their jobs easier because of the bullshit that's happening. You got all this, the cancel culture that we live in. So because we live in a cancel culture, now cops don't want to become cops because being a cop is like you're a pig now. You're an op. So people will look down on you for being a cop now, which is crazy. Shouldn't look down on cops for being bad people. Like I said, I've been stopped by police officers so many times, but I understand that some police officers are just doing their job. Some police officers are corrupt as fuck. There's two different people. I understand that, though. I will protest by only watching black porn stars. You play so much games, Makai. I bet you if you had his knee on a pootie, he would get it first degree murder. LOL, bro. On a poodle, sorry. I'm dyslexic as fuck. Enigma, what's good with it? Why aren't you mod, bro? Hold on, let me make you mod. Everyone check out Enigma Kage too if y'all have not checked out one of my boys. Appreciate you, Enigma Kage. Yeah, no, there's a bunch of people that... Remember when that incident with the New York lady that called the police on the black guy for her dog not being on a leash? You go into the comment section in the forums or whatever, everybody's all going like, yo, the way she was holding that dog, the way she was choking her dog, it's like nobody's even paying attention to the idea that this guy the cops were fucking called on this guy for no reason. Nobody's even paying attention to that idea. You know what I'm saying? And non-blacks worrying about our problems. Just shut the fuck up and enjoy the ride. I mean, here's the thing. If you want to be an ally, be an ally. But at the same time, like, you got to understand all this bullshit. Like, you got to understand, like, okay, for anybody that's white in the chat, I don't mean to, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to tell you the facts. Is if you're a white person, if you want to be an ally to black people, the one thing you got to understand is that people are always trying to debunk this whole privilege thing. I don't have privilege. There's no privilege. Like, if you are a white person, you got to understand, like, if you're born white, there is a level of privilege that you were given. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you're lower income, high income, whatever, there's a level of privilege that you have that nobody else has. the one thing that you got to understand is I get this privilege. You know why people, do you want to know why? And this is going to piss people off, but do you want to know why there are people out there that did the whole all lives matter shit? So people created the Black Lives Matter hashtag. Then there's people out there that combated that and said all lives matter. Do you want to know why people did that? Created the all lives matter hashtag? Because in a way it's saying, oh, black people, you guys are dealing with bullshit. You guys are dealing with struggle. Well, all lives matter. I'm dealing with it too. I'm dealing with problems. You guys have problems? You guys, police are killing you? All lives matter. I'm dealing with bullshit too. Police are killing me too. In a way, it's kind of trying to like, it's a guilt thing. It's like, oh shit, somebody that looks like me is doing this bullshit. I deal with, in a way, I deal with it too. I deal with it too. You don't deal with more bullshit than me. There's no, that's why. It's a guilt thing, and it's kind of like an ego. You got to understand the reason why there's white people out there that go like, no, there's no such thing as a privilege. Either they live in fantasy land. That's the first thing. Either they live in absolute fantasy land. One. And they don't even understand, like they're pretty much like they live in the city of Bel Air and absolute fantasy land, to where they don't understand like working income households, how it works. One. Two, in a way, it's like an ego thing. You know, every single person, every human being wants to start like, and this is just how I look at it. Every single human being wants to have a rags to riches story. What I mean by that is every single person wants to tell their story. How did you make it, bro? Captain, how did you make it? You know what I'm saying? I came from absolutely nothing, bro. I grew up in war-torn Somalia, guns and shit. I made it out, bro, and I made my meal. Everybody wants to tell that story. Everybody. Nobody wants to tell the story of like, oh yeah, I was born into a middle-class family, white picket fence. Nobody wants to do that shit. Nobody wants to do that shit. So when you go up to white people and go like, yo, bro, listen, there is a level of privilege that you're born with, man, that gives you an unfair advantage, low key. I still love you, but that does exist. They are going to go like, no, I started everything that I have from the beginning. There's nothing that I didn't do that I didn't work for. It's just that you minorities are lazy. And that's why you don't. That's why they say that. Because like, they don't understand. It's like first of all, one, like I told you, it's ignorance, one. Two, it's, I want to show you that I was from the bottom. Started from the bottom, now we here. Drake type shit. That's the kind of shit that they want to preach. That's why they say that. But like I said, and that's a problem too, is you understand that there is an advantage that you have, but you don't want to acknowledge it. I don't have a problem telling you as a black person, I have an advantage. In a way. You know what I mean? First of all of us have an advantage as human beings. Majority of us grew up in America, Western society. I don't know where all of you guys are from. I'm just assuming most of you guys are from the States. Most of you guys are from the UK. Most of you guys are from Canada, right? I happen to live in a country that's a good area. Me, personally, I happen to live in a good area. Like a good country, right? Growing up early, it was kind of like I didn't live in the best area, you know what I'm saying? But I was thankful. Have my parents in my life. That's another plus. You know what I mean? This is a privileged thing. I have a strong family of people that back me for what I do. You know what I mean? My first job, one of my family members helped me get it. This is all a privileged thing that I have. I don't have a problem telling you that shit though. You know what I mean? That's a privileged thing. Obviously, this whole YouTube thing, I worked hard for it, this, that, and the other. In a way, I still feel like in a way, this YouTube shit is privileged in a way. Too, because like I got lucky a lot of the times. I still haven't made it, but I still, to the point where I am, there's an element of luck that I got to it too. And luck in a way is kind of like a privilege as well, in a way, So I don't have a problem telling you that, but there's people out there that won't go like, oh no, I got everything by myself. I lived a rag to riches tale. It's completely like, it's ridiculous. Like if you want to be a white person, you want to help out in society, one thing you got to first of all understand is that yes, you do have an unfair advantage in society. You do have that unfair advantage in society today. In this day and age, you do. Statistically, you do. You don't have to deal with this bullshit getting stopped by police officers every single fucking day. Well, you might get stopped by police officers. And you might get stopped by police officers every single day. But you're not going to get stopped because of the color of your skin. You don't got to deal with that bullshit. You don't got to walk into a store and every single time you walk in the store, can I see your receipt, sir? Or be followed around in the store. You don't got to fucking... That's something that you don't... That's something that you don't have to... I got to deal with that shit. Like, brothers got to deal with that shit. You know what I mean? Brown people, Asian people, we all deal with that bullshit. You know, I'm just saying, if you want to be an ally, and I like I said, I don't got no problem with white people. I love white people. You know what I mean? I like throw the history and everything aside. I don't got a problem. I'm just saying, you got to acknowledge all of this shit. You got to acknowledge all of this shit. You know what I mean? You do have an unfair advantage. You do all of this shit that does happen. Look at TikTok, man. Look at TikTok. It's like people on TikTok just dance to rap songs. Like, you got these like 15, 16-year-old white girls just dancing to rap songs, millions of plays. You know what I mean? Crazy. It's insane. I'm just saying, bro. What about Africa? What about Africa? The world is sad and cruel. Preach, preach. He do it again on unlocking the avatar state. What's going on? Wait, guys, tell me what's going on. Bankai was... Oh, shit. Who's this person? Yeah, guys, if anybody's saying some ignorant shit, please do me a favor. Mods. Yeah, my mods. Everybody. If anybody's doing some ignorant shit, just ban them. If it's pure ignorance, ban them. Please. Just ban them if it's pure ignorance. If it's something that I can have a discussion about, like if somebody comes in here and goes like, bro, well, I don't agree, I think all lives matter, then we can have a discussion about that. Don't ban that person, because that's a discussion. But if it's pure ignorance, I don't like fucking black, just ban them, because we don't got time for that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Banish their ass to the shadow realm. You know what I'm saying? They fake dance to rap to half of these niggas that got real rhyme. It's unfortunate, bro. There's almost 8 billion people in the world. You think that of all people, you won't think one person will disagree with your opinion. There is people that are going to disagree with my opinion, Elite. But if somebody's being ignorant, if somebody's coming into the chat and saying the N-word with a hard R, something that is like, oh, you know what? You're just an N-word with a hard R. Ban them. What am I going to debate you? How am I going to understand you? Like I said, if you come into the chat and going like, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter, I think all lives matter, that's something that we can have a conversation about. But if you got to come into this shit just being disrespectful, get out of here. The fuck out of here. There's no place. Like, why? The fuck out of here. That's what I'm saying. I can't talk to you if you're going to do some bullshit like that. Don't do that. Like, get out of here, nigga. That's it. On TikTok, you got 100 million plus people making the exact same video, ending the exact same punchline. Where's the appeal to that? TikTok is TikTok, man. Some bullshit. What's good with it, Mike? Everyone, make sure y'all check out Mike Mash too. I think he's almost at 1K. I think he's almost at 1K. We can get him to 1K, guys. Make sure y'all check out my boy Mike. Sub to his channel if y'all have not done so. I'm gonna be honest with some of y'all. Just coming in here just to say anything, and you needs to relax, bruh. People, yo, I feel you, man. Yeah, it's, bruh. You still read the comments. You still read the comments hella wrong. Ha ha ha. I've been a sub for years for you. You still do this. Appreciate that. Rerun. What's good with it, bro? How you doing, nigga? Where you been at? Holy shit. What's good with you, bro? Yeah, low key, I have a quirk. It's called dyslexia. Low key. Low key. You came in with the same energy, bruh. Majestic, you came in with the same energy, bruh. You can't fight the fight if there's no reason to fight. Big facts. I just realized I hit 5K. Oh, Makai hit 5K? Let's get it. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all subbing. Appreciate y'all checking out my boy. You got it, bud. Yeah, you know, like, the world is just... And even, like, the Ahmed Arbery situation. Like, it's bullshit, man. Like, you know, y'all gotta understand, like, for anybody that doesn't agree with the riots, like I said, it's a combination of all this bullshit that has occurred, man, within the past, not only within the past year, past several years, man. It's a combination of all of the bullshit that has occurred. You know? It's a combination. Y'all gotta understand this, bruh. You know? It's a combination. Hold on, do I even have my, give me a second. Okay, never mind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, everyone, make sure y'all sub to the channel too if y'all have not done so. Appreciate that. No, it's a combination of everything that has occurred, man. Like, it's all of this bullshit wrapped into one. It's a combination of everything, you know? So, that's why shit happens. Makai, drop the fucking merch. Better drop the merch. Stop playing. Y'all privileged because your parents had moved from y'all. Okay, hold on. Y'all privileged because your parents had moved you from Africa to live in the biggest country, and y'all have choice and opportunities. Where my parents are both doctors, but I still live here. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that, Lufuno King. I'm not denying that. My parents, yeah, my parents are immigrants. My parents are from Africa too. They moved here. And that's a privilege that I have, is that I live in a country where I have more opportunity than the majority of people in the world, you know? I have an opportunity more than majority of people. That's a privilege that I have. I'm not denying that privilege. The one thing that you can't, the worst thing you can do to yourself is lie to yourself. So when a white person comes up and says, there's no such thing as me having privilege more than any other person, you're lying to yourself. You're either ignorant, like I told you. If you're ignorant, you're ignorant. But if you're ignorance to the point where, like, ignorance is bliss, and you don't even want to, you understand that there is an unfair advantage, but you still want to lie to yourself and say, no, there isn't. That is, like, the problem. That is a problem. You can't do that shit. That's what I have a problem with. There's a problem in America for sure, but the rioters and looters are not helping, but actually just making the problem worse. It's harder to blame them though, because they already tried peaceful protest. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The rioting, like I told you, in a way I agree with it. Tartos, in a way I agree with it. In a way I don't agree with it, because you're rioting. And when you're like I said, I don't think you causing more violence on top of the violence is gonna solve anything. But at the same time, this shit has been we tried doing this shit peacefully for so many years, man. So many years. You tried doing this shit peacefully. Nobody wants to listen. You tried saying like, yo, bro, this is bullshit. This needs to change. This, that, and the other. And you sit there and peacefully tell people this. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I remember I watched a Tupac interview one time where Tupac was like, it's just people, human beings get agitated. Tupac had this one interview where he was talking about how there was like there was a room where people had a bunch of food and they were like eating the food and having a good time, this, that, and the other. And they had more food than they really needed. And there was people that were hungry on the outside of that room that needed food. So people knocked on the door, and they were like, when they first knocked on the door, they started singing. They're like, we need some food. We are hungry. We need some food. You know what I mean? And then the people didn't open the door. And then they came back the next day and said, okay, we're kind of hungry. We want to eat. They start singing. They're carolers. You know what I mean? And then they still don't open the door. And then like a couple days later, you need to open this door. You know what I mean? They get a little bit more agitated. And then a couple weeks later, we're breaking down the door because, you know, then they start fucking rapping. They start going like, we're breaking down the door. We need to eat the you know what I mean? And they get pissed off. It's like that. And when I remember I saw that Tupac interview when I was like, what, 15? And that shit is that just shows like Pac is a king, because like he predicted all of this shit. Like, you know, we're still learning from this man to this day. And I remember I saw that shit. I was like, oh my God, you know? I saw that interview recently, a couple of days ago, because of everything that's happening. It just was on Instagram, and I was like, oh shit, you know. So it's people get agitated, people get pissed off, shit happens, you know. There's a good quote from MLK: "A riot is a language of the unheard." Also, Colin Kaepernick put his knee down, and nothing happened. Yeah, Colin Kaepernick protested peacefully. As a matter of, I'm glad you brought that up, Have. Colin Kaepernick put his knee down during the anthem, protesting peacefully because of the injustice that's happening in the society. Not only was anything not done, nothing was done. 1. 2, he got fired. He got fined. He got all of this bullshit that happened to him. All of this shit happened. He got fined. No team wants to sign him. The NFL pretty much X'd his ass. Trump disowned him for doing that. How many times has this shit been done peacefully? I'm glad you brought that up, Javi. I wasn't even thinking about that. Appreciate that. People have been doing this peacefully for so many years. We put our knee down during the anthem. Not because we don't enjoy the country, like we don't consider ourselves part of the country. It's just that there's an injustice within the country. You know what I mean? So we put your knee down. Crazy how like we put our knee down on the field to protest this bullshit. We get crucified. This guy puts his knee down on somebody's fucking neck and kills his ass. And it's like people are still trying to justify that shit. It's ridiculous. I don't know. That shit is like, it's corruption, bro. It's an imbalance. It's an imbalance. How long have we been streaming? Almost 2 hours? Okay. At the end of the day, black people are just tired, man. Y'all gotta understand this shit. Black people, at the end of the day, we're just tired. We're tired of all this bullshit. We're tired of the injustice. We're tired of everything that's happening. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, black people are tired. Minorities are tired. You know what I mean? It's like something, at the end of the day, like we've been doing peaceful protests, everything for years. If something is not done, we're just gonna, something has to be done. So if something is not being done, like the mindset is, we gotta take this shit into our own hands. You know what I mean? So hopefully no civil war or anything happens, but nothing is being done, you know? So everybody is just tired, bro. Congrats on 30K. It's been a while, a whole year. Yeah, where have you been, bro? I'm gonna be real. I think the majority of us would rather burn a city to the ground and rebuild it later than be choked to death in the middle of the street by someone who's supposed to be protecting us. I think, yeah, the Naughty Dragon, Heavenly Controller said something very, very, he made a stream a couple days ago, and he made something that was very eye-opening. He said, these businesses, they can be rebuilt. Not that I condone anything breaking small businesses and shit like that. I told you guys, if I took everything that I did on this channel, let's just say I put that into a business, somebody came in and destroyed that whole shit in one day, even though I have insurance and all that shit, it still hits me, because I'm like, bro, I worked on this damn near so hard and people fucked it up. I'd be pissed off, you know? I understand that perspective, because in a way, this thing that you do, this thing that I do is a business, you know? But I understand Heavenly Controller when he said, Heavenly Controller said, you can't, a death is permanent, you know? We don't have technology to bring people back from the dead. You know what I mean? You can't Edo Tensei anybody. You can't Edo Tensei anybody. When somebody dies, it's permanent. If your business or whatever breaks down, it's shitty, and I don't agree with that. But that shit is not permanent. You can get that back, either because of insurance. Majority of businesses have insurance anyways, so you can get it back in a way. GoFundMe's, this, that, and the other. It's still bullshit. I don't agree with that, but it's possible to get it back. You know what I mean? I remember, for anybody in here that's been robbed, you'll understand. You know what I mean? I was robbed one time, and At first, I was pissed off. I was like, yo, I need justice, this, that, and the other. And when I couldn't get my stuff back that the dude robbed me from, eventually I sucked it up and I was like, you know what? At least I have my life. I have my life. And I can work to get that stuff back. And I did work to get that stuff back. At least I have my life, which is something that I have that I can use to get whatever that was stolen from me back. You know what I mean? So, but when your life is taken from you, you can't ever get that shit back. It's permanent. That's why you have to be very careful with shit like mental health. RIP my nigga Etika. You have to be very careful with shit like mental health. You know what I'm saying? Police brutality. All of these issues has to be addressed. All of these things have to be addressed. Because if these things are not addressed, it's like, you can get, like, it can be very detrimental. You know what I mean? Like, all of these things, they have to be addressed. You know? Death is a permanent thing. My nigga Etika, we can't get him back. George Floyd, we can't get him back. May their souls rest. May their souls rest. We can't get him back because it's a permanent shit. You can't Edo Tensei anybody back from the dead. It's over. This is not Michael Jackson Thriller. Nobody's coming back. You know? That's why people are pissed off. You know? So it's like, I understand that perspective. I understand that perspective. We as a new generation have to do our part, at least, and try to end this racist madness. Yeah, man, we have to, you know, we have to play our part. Racism is still alive and well, ladies and gentlemen, you know? Me on my first day of school, please stop me. After 3 months, you want a nigga, I'll give you a nigga. Wait, me, the first day of school, please stop. What you trying to say, gotcha? Would you twerk for the police too? No, I've never twerked for the police, never will. All right, I'm gonna go. This is not my subject to discuss. Enjoy the stream. All right, Madison, appreciate you coming through. 2020 was not what I expected. It has COVID. It fucked up my graduation. Black Lives Matter. Big facts. Life is a gift. Many people don't get blessed with it. You need to protect it and be happy with your life. I agree. Life is a gift, man. Life can be taken just like that, bro. That's why I tell y'all, bro, whatever y'all want to do, go chase it. Your life could be taken. That girl that you like in school, tell her, bro. Why are you waiting? Why are you wasting your time? Just tell her your life could be taken like that, man. You're going to go back, you're going to like, oh, fuck, man. Like, you know? Shit. My struggle this week is finding a Chase bank. Jesus, Yaya, is it that bad over there? Black people be pressed as fuck. We need to chill. We need a new economy. If we don't hurry and fix it, America and the others are gonna go down in flames. But it's the thing with it is everybody says some shit like that. It makes sense, Demon. It makes sense to say some shit like that. It makes sense to go like, yeah, we need an economy. We need this. We need to do that. It's like it all sounds good on paper. We need an action plan to go and do that. The only problem is, like I told you guys, this is an institution. Racism is institutionalized. You know what I mean? Racism is institutionalized to the point where it's like, you got to understand why black people are stealing in low income areas. It's because there's no jobs in lower income areas. Like, what do you do? What if there's no job? You need to feed your daughter, bro. What are you going to end up doing? You're going to end up trapping. You're going to end up gangbang, do all of this bullshit just to feed your, you know what I mean? Most of these dudes don't care, don't want to be part of this gang shit or trap shit or whatever, but they end up doing it because there's no jobs. There's nothing good. You know what I mean? It's like I said, there's some black people who are ignorant, who just trying to get more money, this, that, and the other, so they do that. But like some black people, they don't want to do that shit. You know what I mean? You gotta understand. It's an economic thing. It's an economic thing, bruh. It's not fair that black people are treated differently just by the color of their skin. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, Nezuko, that people do that shit. But it's like me, that's what I've come to know, and that's what I've come to live by. Is that this shit will continue to keep happening. You know what I mean? Like this is something that I'm gonna have to deal with, and for everyone that's black, this is something that you're gonna have to deal with for the rest of your life. I'm sorry to tell you. Maybe our kids' generation will be different if I end up having a child. I don't even plan on bringing children into this world. You know what I mean? Maybe our kids' generation will be different, but our throughout our lifetime, we're gonna deal with the same bullshit, bruh. We're gonna deal with this bullshit, and slowly but surely, we're gonna have to like combat it. We're gonna have to fight it, you know. Slowly but surely, we're gonna have to do what we can to combat it, to fight it, you know. But this is gonna be for the rest of our lives. Everybody, this is gonna be for the rest of our lives, bruh. America's letting one man decide what they look like. It's not even a president. That cop fucked up. It's sad, man. Y'all have to vote, otherwise this is all for nothing. Y'all vote, bro. Like I said, if I was an American citizen, I would vote too. No cap. What's good with it, Lack? How you doing? That's my biggest fear. I feel like 2020 will end in real bad ways. Civil war is coming. Corona will add to that deadly blow. Shit doesn't look good, man. We pray to God, bro. If we all say a prayer and we pray to God, we'll be okay. I'm not gonna cap. I'm privileged. My life has always been good. There's nothing more I can complain about. Yes, I've been watched by the cops before, but I'm light-skinned and that happens. I've been stopped before. Yeah, man. Everybody comes with privilege, bro. There's always a privilege that people have, you know? Everybody, bro. Racism will never end because some people don't have respect for black people. We're gonna have to do what we can to fight it, but it's never gonna really end. I agree. You have people that are it's the society, man. It's the society that we live in. Cause like racism used to be upfront. To me, you are a slave. Therefore, we're not in the same boat. Now, racism is a subconscious thing. You'll have a white female walking her dog down the street. She'll see 3 black guys. This has happened to me before too. She'll see 3 black guys walking while she's walking her dog. She'll see 3 black guys walking towards her across the street. It's like it's a subconscious thing. But then that same girl's gonna go like, oh no, I'm not racist. But racism is a subconscious thing. You know what I mean? Nowadays, racism nowadays not only is a subconscious thing, but it's also a something that is, like I said, is masked. You know what I mean? People have it under wraps and they put their mask on, you know? So what should we do, Cap? We got to keep doing what we're doing, man. We got to keep, bro, what we have to keep doing is we have to keep, social media is such a powerful fucking thing, bro. And I fucking love social media for the aspect of the fact that you can bring all this shit to light and put people on fucking blast. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's why the internet is such a beautiful thing. Not only do I make my money off the internet, but the internet itself is such a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like, without the internet, none of this shit would be possible. You know what I mean? That's why the internet is such a beautiful tool. And it's like, we have to keep advocating. We have to keep, like, if you are a black person, you have to support your black brothers. You have to, you know what I mean? You have to do all of this shit. Like, we have to stand together in a way, you know? That's another thing that we have to do. You have to stand together against the injustice. And if you're not a black person, but you agree with the cause that's happening, you have to stand with everybody. You have to stand with everybody. Stand with us, you know? If we do all of that, good stuff will happen. Because like I said, you can, I told you guys this at the beginning of the stream too. Not every white person is a bad person. Not every cop is a racist. And not every white person is racist. Not every cop is corrupt. Not every black person steals and is a criminal. You know what I mean? So it's like, there are people that genuinely want your help. There's people that genuinely want the support. So as long as you if you really do stand for what is going on, you know what I'm saying, join arms and we'll be good. We have to keep pushing the narrative, man. We have to keep pushing it, you know? It's like the same thing as like the civil rights. Like, you know how the civil rights pushed the agenda? We have to keep pushing. I don't have the answer. I can't tell you the answer to solve racism, man. I deal with this bullshit every single day. I can't tell you the answer, you know what I mean? Nobody can fucking tell you the answer. There's not a single person that's going to tell you the answer how to solve all this bullshit from happening. But, you know, we can take steps. Slowly we can take steps, you know? Captain's Crib, man, I can tell, man, can I tell you my opinion? I'm from Italy. Yeah, go ahead, bro. We want an international opinion. Appreciate you coming through, Christian. We want an international opinion. Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Bro, why is black people have to be treated different? Like we're all a part of the human race. It's a history thing, man. It's a history thing, and it's like people like there's always gonna be white people or not even white, but just people, ignorant people that are gonna go like, well, we need to, you know, black people need to pick up the ball, and like, you know, like slavery was 100 years ago, and you know, like we need to pick up the ball, and you know, you need to get your shit together, like, you know what I mean, all this shit. I agree in a way. We got some stuff that we got to work on, but at the same time, you got to understand everything that we deal with now is as a result of history. Like everything, like even though we don't pick cotton, like my Joyner, if y'all ever listen to Joyner Lucas, even though we don't pick cotton physically, that don't mean that we're not affected by the history. Because like, you got to understand all this bullshit, the police brutality. Did this police brutality thing start 5 years ago? This has been happening for years. For years, this shit has been happening, where police have been treating black people unjustly for years. It's a history thing. You know what I mean? It's a history thing. Even stereotypes. You got to understand, even stereotypes. Why do people think black people are angry? There's a stereotype. Black people are angry and dangerous. Why is that a stereotype? History. Now, for those of you who do not know, back in the day, you know what I mean? When there was a slave and a slave master, sometimes the slave masters had enough of it. So what happened was, when they had enough of the bullshit, what they ended up doing was they started holding revolts, slave revolts. There's, you know what I mean? If you go back in the history books, there's stuff that's called slave revolts. A lot of people died during slave revolts. A lot of slave owners, you know, like people that worked on the, you know, family members of the slave, you know what I mean? All this bullshit. So it's like, now it's like people look at a black people go like, oh, they're dangerous. That's the mindset. That was the history. That was the history back then. That's why people look at it as like, oh shit, you're dangerous. Why do people think that black people steal? Like, look at all these stereotypes. Why do people think black people steal all the time? You know, you're black, you go into a store, people are following you around. Why is that? That wasn't something that happened 5 years ago. This has been happening. Why is that? It's a history. Back in the day, once again, when the slave master wouldn't give the slave enough food, what did the slave do? He's starving. He needs to eat. He would sneak into the master's house, go into his cabinets, take a little bit of food, take what he can to eat, to survive. Slave master would catch the slave doing this, beat the shit out. Even though all this slavery and shit is not happening, you're still affected by the history of it, man. You guys gotta understand that shit. I don't mean to be woke. I'm not a wokeivist. I'm not a woketivist. Everyone thinking that I'm like a woketivist or whatever. I'm a woke. Brothers, I don't got a dashiki on. I don't got no fucking sunglasses. I'm just telling you. This is all a history thing. You know what I mean? We're all affected by the history of this bullshit, you know? So, I think many people that destroy things around the USA, they don't care about George. They use this poor guy to steal, destroy things, etc. This is not what George wanted, I'm pretty sure. I agree. Christian, I agree with you. That's not what he would have wanted. And a lot of people in the US now, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're just stealing. They're just looting and stealing stuff. You know what I mean? They're just looting and stealing stuff. And the looting I don't agree with. In a way, I agree with it. No. The rioting I agree with. The looting I don't agree with. I don't agree with stealing anything. You know what I mean? I agree with the idea that a lot of people stealing don't care about what George is doing. They're just trying to make a quick buck, trying to get stuff. But in a way, like I said, like we said before, is like peaceful protests have been happening for years. And so there are certain people who are pissed off, that are angry, that are mad because of this bullshit. So what do they end up doing is they end up holding riots. They end up doing all this crazy shit because of all this stuff that's happening. You know what I mean? I appreciate that perspective, though. Yeah, we covered that, man. I appreciate that. People in this chat don't stereotype all cops as bad just because corrupt cops are slandering their name. Yeah, there's cops out there that are good. There's cops that out there that are bad. What I would like to see out of law enforcement is, nobody in the chat is ignorant, though. Nobody's going like, these fucking pigs, this, that, and the other. Nobody's doing that shit. But I like to see law enforcement take, because the problem with law enforcement is that they don't take any strides to change anything. Nothing has changed with regards to, law enforcement and with regards to minority communities, especially with this incident that has occurred. Like, a lot has not changed. You know what I mean? It's like the policing of black people is kind of is bad. It's still bad. And as much as law enforcement wants to say, "Oh yeah, we're taking steps to train better," like I said, you can't train somebody who already has a bias to not be racist if they're already racist. The one thing that you can do is not let them become a police officer. The problem with it is, like I said, bro, this is all a societal thing. People are becoming cops less, right? In the society, nobody wants to be a cop nowadays. There's less cops in the world than there have ever been. There's less cops in the world than there have ever been. People want to become cops less and less. The reason why people want to become cops less and less is because of the culture that we live in. The cancel culture with regards to law enforcement. The culture that we live in is a cancel culture. So people want to become cops less. You know what I mean? Hold on. Is my camera bugging? Okay. Okay, there we go. So people want to become cops less and less, because of the cancel culture that we live in. So because we live in this cancel culture, nobody wants to become cops. So the government advocates for more cops by making it easier to become a cop. Now you can become a cop in less than a year. You know what I mean? Because they need more cops on the street. So there's less training. And they just need cops. So there's no vetting process. What there should be is there should be a vetting process with regards to becoming law enforcement. You can't have the same way there's a vetting process to dictate the jury on a stand. You know how they dictate a jury? There has to be a vetting process. You know what I mean? There has to be a process by which nobody has no bias. So there's a process to determine who can be part of the jury in a court of law and who cannot be a part of the jury. There's a process to it. That same process needs to be implemented within law enforcement in a way to vet people that have biases against certain people within society, black people, minorities, whatever. But there isn't a process like that. Anybody and everybody can become a cop as long as you're an American or you're a part of the country and you finish the appropriate training that they give you, which is the academy is like a 5 months worth of training, and that's it. So there's nothing to it. It's the sad truth, but there's nothing to it. That's it. There's no vetting process. So then you have people that are corrupt that are doing all this stuff because there's no vetting process to it. It's sad. But yeah, hold on. Let me look at these comments. Imagine stealing, but humanity is a big problem. So now I just think of the world. Oh shit. My fucking microphone was off. Holy shit. Who donated? Unknown. Appreciate that $1.99 ducat donation, bro. He says, yo, I'm back. What's good with you, Unknown? Appreciate you coming through, man. How you doing, bro? What's up, bro? Let me know. But humanity is a big problem for now. So I just think it would, when the world is damaged enough, it would reset so it can heal. Appreciate you. Imagine stealing, bro. People letting America look bad because of that one cop, bro. America is a corrupt place, bro. It's not just that one cop. America is a corrupt place, man. No cap, you know what I mean? Muhammad, stop spamming. What's going on? Who's spamming? If anybody's doing some crazy shit, just, Muhammad's okay, though. Let him be. Let him be. It's hard to find people without bias. Everyone has a bias in some way. When you're a police officer, you can't have much bias. Everybody has bias, but especially with that job, it's very important that you don't have a bias. If you have a job within the government, you can't have a bias. Like, you can, but it has to be something that's very small. You have to have, if you work for the government, you have to have the least bias out of anybody in society. Otherwise, you shouldn't. Your job is dictating the lives of other people. That's your job. To dictate the lives of other people. If you have a biased mindset, that's going to affect your job. You can't do that. You can't have that. But like I said, this is a society, ladies and gentlemen. The society that we live in. There has to be poor people. There has to be rich people. There has to be an economy. That's just the society we live in. There has to be an economy. And there has to be poor people and rich people. Now, the poor people in our society happen to be black people. And the government makes more money by minorities and black people being poor. It's the same reason why they put a gun shop, a liquor store in every corner in a hood. Is because that shit makes the most money. So that's why they put it there. You know what I mean? They're not going to put that in a higher income neighborhood because that's not going to make as much money. But the society that we live in is that there's an economy, and there's an economy that needs to work and function. So in a capitalistic society, I don't mean to get political, there has to be rich people, has to be poor people. And everybody else that's in between. That's how it works. And there has to be an economy to boost that. So certain jobs have to be put in place, including law enforcement. Now, people that are not deliberately not wanting to become cops, the best way to let people become cops, the best way to advocate for people to become cops is you make more job openings. Not only you make more job openings, oh shit, who donated again? Somebody else donated? Y'all starting this donation frenzy? Don't do this now. Don't do this now. Hold on. Who is it? But let me just finish what I'm saying. So the best way to do that is you have to. The best way to advocate for more law enforcement, for more cops, is you create more jobs and you make it easier to attain those jobs. That's why all this bullshit is happening. Check this donation. Appreciate that 5 ducat donation, Frozen Pyromaniac. He says the good cops need to hold the bad ones accountable for their actions. Being complacent with the behavior when you have to protect is just bad. I agree. That's another thing that needs to be done too, is the good cops need to hold the bad ones accountable. I agree with that. See, I didn't even think about some shit like that. I agree with that. I didn't think about some shit like that, but that is something that needs to be done. The same way that black people hold other black people accountable for the wrong things that they do. For example, if my little cousin decided he wanted to be in a fucking gang, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him. Cause like, what are you doing, little nigga? Hell no, don't do that shit. You know what I mean? I'm gonna hold him accountable. Or if I see 2 black kids fighting, 2 14, 15-year-old black kids fighting on the side of the street, I'm gonna go up to them and I'm gonna as a man, and I'm gonna stop that fight. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say, why are you guys fighting? There's a better way to handle the, you know what I mean? So I didn't even think of that. I appreciate that, Frozen Pyromaniac. I didn't even think of that. Yeah. Good cops need to hold bad cops accountable. If you want to change this, good cops do have to hold bad cops accountable. That's a good point. That's a good point. I appreciate that, man. Do y'all agree with that? Let me know. If y'all agree with that. Do the good cops have to keep the bad cops accountable? Let me know. Appreciate that donation. Nah, I'm chilling, nigga. I have a whole closed full of toilet paper. Have a whole closet full of toilet paper, hand sanitizer in all of my cabinets. Got food in them. On top of that, uh, who who tells people they're stealing? Look like you're looking for attention. I'm just taking stuff because all the store is gonna get closed for a while because running stuff. Yeah, you gotta like you gotta stock up on your shit for sure. Nobody steal though. Cap, you should listen to Capital Steets American Corruption. It was an album made by Joey Badass. No, I heard of that. I heard Joey's album. No one is born hating a person by their skin color, but their religious and normal background. I agree. Your Dirk was good with you, bro. Some cops think they got power just because they got some badge and a gun and in their hand. They get mad when someone is done with them and beats the shit out of them. Yeah, I mean, cause society's corrupt, bruh. This man Cap can't read, bro. Dyslexia is a quirk, man. Cap, I agree. Everyone has to hold them accountable. Y'all agree with? Yeah, I agree with that too. They have to hold. If you want to solve the problem, you have to hold them. You have to hold them accountable. You know what I mean? Yeah, let's talk about Anonymous real quick. Oh, you talking about the hackers? I agree with what the hackers. Those hackers. I mean, I have no place in that shit because like those hacker guys, those anonymous hackers. I in my opinion, I feel like I have. Oh shit, y'all are starting this frenzy. Holy shit, appreciate that, bro. Who donated? Unknown again with a $5 donation. He says, appreciate you, my boy. People are also trying to brainwash the youth by forcing their opinion down the kid's throat and then not letting the kids develop their own opinion. That's another thing too. Yeah, that's another thing too. That's why I want you guys, like, especially those of you who are young in the chat, I want you guys to understand. You guys gotta first of all make your own decision on everything. But at the same time, I want you guys to understand, not every cop is a shitty person. Not every white person is racist. Not every black person is a criminal. You know what I mean? Keep that energy. Because you have to be able to think about this shit for yourself. You have to watch outlets. Like, watch this stream, for example, right? And make your own mindset about everything. Think about it. Don't just take everything that I say. Think about it. And go like, okay, this makes sense or that makes sense or, Appreciate that $5 donation, bro. Appreciate that. I saw a video where police surrounded a car, broke the windows, probably arrested the black man and woman that was in the car because of the curfew. Meanwhile, there was a car in front of them. I mean, the way, like, do you have the whole report of everything that happened? Like, was there any retaliation? The way I look at it is like, some people just post videos, but there isn't like there's always a story behind the video. If there isn't a story behind that video, then it's bullshit. Yeah, you guys gotta understand. It's like, I want you guys to also understand this too. About society is that the one thing, and I agree with what you guys are saying with regards to like revenge in a way, not necessarily revenge, but retaliation. You know what I mean? In a way, I understand that. You guys got to understand. It's like, this is going to sound extreme, but like, my opinion, and this is just my honest opinion, the reason why black people struggle a whole lot is obviously we deal with bullshit in society. Let's not get that twisted. We deal with so much bullshit, so much more bullshit than what we should deal with. One. But another thing about black people, why we struggle in society is, in my opinion, this is just how I think, is that a lot of the times we're too nice. What I mean by we're too nice is we're too forgiving. We're too passionate about certain stuff. It's like that's the nature of being a black person. And the problem, and that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing, you know what I'm saying? Zoo, appreciate the sub, man. Welcome to TREW. Yeah, everyone sub to the channel if y'all have not done so. That's not a bad thing. It's like being nice is not a bad thing, you know what I mean? But if you're nice to the point where you put your hand out for people and they bite your hand, people bite the hand that feeds you, that's a problem. And that's been happening to black people for a long time. A lot of the times we're too nice. We stick our hand out for people and then they end up biting it. And then we stick our hand out again and say, we forgive you for biting my hand the first time. Then they bite it again. They bite you until all your fingers are gone. And then you stand up and say, yo, that's bullshit. You took all my fingers. You should have known from the start that if you did it one time, he's going to do it again. Black people we're nice. How many times has there been like a racist ass fucking person that did some racist ass shit? Right? Then those racist ass people get sued for the racist ass bullshit that they did. And then there's a black person in court, the family member of the person. I forgive you for everything that you did. I forgive you for the stuff that happened. I forgive you for this, that, and the other. I'm not telling you to have hate in your heart. I'm just saying you got to hold these people accountable for the shit that they do. But the problem with black people is that a lot of the times we're nice and other people take advantage of that bullshit that we do. You know what I mean? We're nice. We're nice. 500 years of slavery, we didn't even do shit. We're nice. People take advantage of that shit though. For anybody that lived in like for example, anybody that lived for example, I'm just gonna say this, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all who lived in like a lower income area, the hood or whatever. I remember back in my old neighborhood, right? There was this elderly Jamaican lady. She was about like 60, in her 60s. She lived by herself, and she was an elderly Jamaican lady, because like the area that I lived in is like, you know what I mean, bunch of different people, Jamaicans, Africans, Somali, you know what I mean, a bunch of different people, Asians, right? So this elderly Jamaican lady, and this is when I was like what, 7. So there was so this lady, she was nice, you know what I'm saying? She was such a nice lady to where, and I'm pretty sure you guys will agree with this, there's always that one lady in like a lower income area that's always gonna tell the kids, listen, don't steal, don't do anything. If you need money, come to me. And she would always do that shit. Appreciate the donation. I'm gonna get to that in a second. She would always do that shit. She would always tell the kids in the neighborhood, all the kids in the neighborhood, the young kids, if you need money, don't go and steal anything. Come to me, I'll give you money. This old Jamaican lady, she told all of us, if you need money, come. To the point where she didn't even say that. She said, you know what? If you need money, my door is always unlocked. You know how much old, like, black women, black ladies, aunties, we call them aunties, they just leave their door open. You want to come in, come in. Your house is my house. If you need money, come in. You're like a son to me. Come in, I'll give you money. There's always one auntie that's like that. Every single, if you lived in like a kind of like a place like that, you know what I'm talking about. For me, it was one Jamaican lady. She would always come to all the kids and say, if you need ice cream, come in. I'll give you, you know what I mean? She treated me like I was her son. Almost. Always one. She's always smiling at the young kids. She's always treating you like her son. Black people, and guess what happens though? Guess what happens? She leaves her door unlocked all the time, bro. And this is a lot of stuff that old black women and elderly black people, they do, because they're nice. They do this all the time. And guess what happens? Eventually somebody breaks into their house, steals the money from their fucking house. You know what I mean? And sometimes, and a lot of times, the person, the lady ends up getting killed. Now, that didn't happen for me. That didn't happen in my situation, but that happens a whole lot. And I was always fearful for that woman. I was like, yo, she's leaving her door open, this, that, and the other. This is not the best area. But this shit always happens. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying when I say black people are so nice. The nicest group of people in the world. But because we're the nicest group of people in the world, people take advantage of it. And that's why we struggle. That's another reason why we struggle, man. You know what I mean? That's another problem. But bye, Elite. All right, Elite, I'm gonna see you. But that's the problem. That's another problem, is that we're, like I said, we're too nice, man. And a lot of the times we gotta put our foot down and say, nah, bro, you can't just kill my brother and expect me to just forgive you. Maybe with time, but I can't. You gotta reflect on what you did. You know what I mean? And I feel like now black people are waking up and understanding, like, yeah, you know, I understand that. But it's crazy, man. No, this has gone too far. I'ma cry, bro. Yeah, we need education. The better moment to change the human nature is in his teenage years. The nature of someone is most determined when he's a kid. Hold on, let me check the donations. I know some people donated. Hold on. Spider Ninja, appreciate that $1 donation, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate that $1 donation, man. Appreciate you, bro. My grandparents leave the door open and it worries me. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Always. People, like, there's always auntie, like, you know what I mean? A grandpa that does some shit like that. And it's like, they're so nice. And it's not, you can't, black people are too nice, man. Like, you know, most forgiving race, bro. You know what I'm saying? Oh God, what happened? We're just talking like about all the bullshit that occurred. You know what I mean? We're just reflecting. We need to keep the natural of being kind, because we end up being the better person, and it forms positive environment. I agree. Lufano, where are you from, bro? Let me know. Sound like you from, I don't know. Are you from the States? Let me know. Who donated again? Spider Ninja again, bro. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the $1 donation. Don't do this donation frenzy shit again, guys. Chill, man. Y'all end up doing that, I might have to end up donating all this money, bro. I might have to end up donating this money to somebody. Bro, this is great that you still streaming about this topic. The topic is cool. Shout out to the stream. Shout out the stream on Twitter. Is it cool if I shout out the stream on Twitter? Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, please. Shout out the stream on Twitter, man. I appreciate that, Xavier. Yeah, no, I was originally not gonna stream about this, but I was encouraged. I was encouraged by Daquan Wiltshire. I don't know if you guys know Daquan Wiltshire. I was encouraged by people like Daquan Wiltshire. He's a YouTuber. Abba and Preach, they're YouTubers. And Heavenly, who streamed and talked about it. And pretty much what they're saying is, like, as a black person, with all this bullshit that's going around with us, the least we can do is talk about the injustice and the bullshit that's going around. That's the least we can do, is talk about the bullshit that's happening. You know what I mean? And so I agree with that. I agree with that idea, is like, you know, if you're a black person with an audience, the least you can do is talk about it to your audience. I agree with that, you know? Because what they're saying is, like, you have an audience of people, they'll listen to what you have to say. They'll hear you out at the very least. So, you know, you work so hard to build an audience of people, you know, the least you can do is kind of try to tell, you know, preach the word out there, or try to, you know, understand their word or whatever. Because that's the beauty of this whole social media shit. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of this whole social media shit. You got 100 odd people in here, and I can talk to y'all, and y'all can tell me what you guys agree with and what you disagree with, what I say, and I can talk about what I disagree with when it comes to you guys. And it's kind of like a thing. It's a discussion. And that's something that I've always dreamed about having, you know? I always internalized all these things that I'm talking about, you know, to myself in my head, but now I can talk with people about that. You know what I mean? So, appreciate y'all, man. I feel bad I can't donate. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. No problem. I have an auntie. She lives in the park. She gives us popsicles. She leaves her door unlocked. And she has a granddaughter, and she comes to give her more popsicles for us. You see what I'm saying? So August, you understand what I'm saying too. It's like there's always that one auntie that leaves her door unlocked. If you need money, come into my house. Your house is my house. You're my son, this, that, and the other. People take advantage. You know what I mean? Black people are too nice, bro. I'm telling you. That's one of the main reasons. Black people are the most forgiving, nice people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look at it from this perspective. The Holocaust lasted, what, 15, 20 years, right? It was a brutal 15, 20 years for Jews. And it lasted 15, 20 years. To this day, the Jews are hunting down every single last living Nazi in the world and killing them. Now, I'm not telling you to kill anybody, but I'm just saying that's what the Jews are doing. Hunting down every last living Nazi and killing them to this day. Wherever they're at, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, hold on. Who donated again? Somebody else donated? Holy shit. Majestic Son donated $2. He says it's easy to do nothing, but it's hard to forgive. Yeah, it's so hard to forgive injustice, though. You know what I mean? I can't, if you kill my brother, I can't just look in your face and say I forgive you. I want you to understand what you did. I want you to take the time to reflect and understand what you did. And if you sit and reflect and understand what you did, then we can come to an understanding of forgiveness. But you need to understand what you did, bro. You know what I'm saying? This guy that got fucking locked up for the bullshit that he did to George Floyd. People are asking for the death penalty. That's too easy. That's too easy. He needs to sit in jail and understand what the fuck he did. Now, the sad part about it is that this fucking guy got manslaughter. He didn't get no second degree murder, first degree murder. No, he got manslaughter. Manslaughter is like, the max you're going to get for manslaughter is 25 years. But because he's a cop and because if he's on good behavior, he's probably going to get out in 5 years. That's just how it works. So this guy killed somebody unjustly in the most gruesome manner I've ever seen, suffocating somebody. Can you just imagine you're being suffocated to death? Like, imagine somebody holds your neck like this, slowly it's getting, and you're suffocating, you're saying I can't breathe, you're getting lightheaded. He's suffered. This man suffered to death. And this man's only going to get probably 5 years for manslaughter. The society you live in is like, that's what we call institutional. Everything is institutionalized to be like this, to be corrupt like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy. Who got banned? Why did y'all time out Kel? What did he say? Give it this. Appreciate that sub, man. Welcome to TREW. Yeah, everyone, make sure y'all sub to the channel if y'all have not done so, man. Appreciate y'all. Okay, I didn't miss anything. Hold on. Man, see you next time. Anyways, I found your channel some months ago with DBS. Oh, you did? Appreciate that, Christian, bro. Appreciate you here, man. Peep the fan art on Discord in the art gallery real quick. Somebody made some for you. Oh, they did? Okay. I'll check it out for sure. Not right now. I wanna cover these topics, but I will check that shit out for sure. Fan art. Holy shit. Can I give you $100? If you give me $100, listen, random guy. I would be fucking, I wouldn't even want to take it. Like, I would have to like give it away. Like, I'd have to donate this shit, man. I don't know. Who's a good place to donate to? I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, it's you don't have to. I appreciate you being in here, random guy. You know what I'm saying? I love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You being in here supporting the stream and giving your 2 cents on everything is good enough, bro. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Appreciate you, bro. Bro, this is crazy. They deserve first-degree murder instead of third-degree. But the way that the society is made is like he can't get first-degree because it's not premeditated murder. And in a way, it wasn't premeditated murder. You know what I mean? So the way that the law works is fucked up. It's corrupt, you know? So even though this guy killed somebody because of the color of their skin, it's less than killing somebody out of like hatred or some shit. You know what I mean? It's fucked up. It's corrupt, bro. Donate to trees. To trees? Kel be trying to argue with me. That's why he got timed out. What is Kel trying to argue about? Guys, I want you guys to understand. Having a friendly debate or like a friendly argument is not a bad thing. I don't mind if somebody comes in here and wants to debate and say, you know what, Cap, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. I want all lives matter. Then we can have a discussion. I want to understand people's perspective. Because like I said, remember when we were talking about ignorance? The reason why people are ignorant is because we don't understand each other's perspectives. So the reason why somebody would say a black person is violent for hitting a police officer is because they are ignorant to the idea that this shit happens every single day and you get tired and eventually you just start swinging. They're ignorant to that idea. The same way that some people are ignorant to that idea, so they just think all black people are just violent. Y'all are being ignorant to some other people's perspectives. If they're saying some really fucked up shit, just time them out. But if it's like something that we can talk about, please don't time them out, mods. Do me that favor. He was toxic, Cap. He wasn't friendly. Oh, if he was toxic, then there's a Puerto Rican quote, El quer hizo la ley hizo trampar. This translates to he who made the law made the trap. Man, that is deep. He who made the law made the trap. He who made the law is in control, which is true. Which is true. He's not banned for just blocked for a few minutes. Oh, okay. What did he say though? What was he talking about? Let me know. I asked him, why are you being toxic? He said, who asked you mind your business? Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then. But if anybody disagrees with me, by all means, go ahead and let me know. Because like I said, I just want to talk. George Floyd was actually having a heart attack while he had that police officer's knee forced onto his neck. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting. What was he saying? Why can't I give you money? It's you saying, why can't I give you money? It's saying that it's not available in my country. Oh, that's unfortunate. It's all right, man. If it's not available in your country, it's all right, man. It's all right. It was once. Actually, if you want to donate, you can donate to the PayPal if you want to. I mean, you don't have to. If you have PayPal, you can donate to the PayPal. Let me see if I have the PayPal. But I probably will, like, if it's a large sum of money, I probably will give it to like one of these charities or whatever. Hold on. If you want to. This is if you want to. What was that? $1.99 donation from unknown. He says, besides the point, you have to read Solo Leveling. Eventually. So if you want it, listen, if you want to donate to the thing and the link is not working, that's the PayPal. If you want to donate to that random guy, you can do that, but I probably will give it away. I'll be honest with you. If it's a large sum of money, probably will give it away. I feel guilty having that shit, you know? You're talking so much sense. It's just, Peter, I appreciate that. I just talk from my personal perspective, you know what I mean? I can't talk for other people. I just talk from my personal perspective. And I try to get people to understand different mindsets. I always try to get you guys to understand a different mindset. My main goal is to understand where you're coming from. If I can understand where you're coming from, that's the best thing for me. You get what I'm saying? That's the best thing for me. I can understand where you're coming from. That's the best thing for me. I want to understand you. I want to understand where you're coming from. I want to understand what you're trying to say. That's the best thing for me. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful that we're talking about this topic because it was super important for me. Yeah. Like I said, I was inspired to do it because of, other YouTubers. They're saying, like, if you're black and you have an audience, the least you can do is talk about it. And I agree. It's important to me too. So for a long time, what I was doing, I was just like, okay, you know what? Let me not talk about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me not, like, because that's not what this channel is about. And then eventually I was like, I have an audience of people that, want to listen, want to understand. So, it's important to talk about these sort of things. There are some protests happening around the world. It's not just in the US. Yeah, there's a protest in Hong Kong. I was minding my own business and he kept talking BS. Some people was telling him to be quiet, mind his business. Oh, okay, so if he's being ignorant, then. If he's being ignorant, People are protesting in Vancouver too. Sign up. Vancouver's on the other side of the country for me, bro. Yes, in Montreal, we had people robbing stores and such. I think this shit is happening in Toronto. Let me check. Is there one in Toronto? Hold on. Let me check. Toronto protests. Hold on. Nah, there isn't protesting in downtown Toronto, but businesses are boarding up. I ain't gonna cap. Can you say Akshat? Akshat? There you go, $500. No, you don't gotta donate that crazy shit, bro. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. The riots are a need, in my opinion. The riots are unneeded, in my opinion. That's interesting because we had this whole debate about peaceful protesting. I'm glad you said that. We had this whole debate about peaceful protesting, talking about, like, is it better to peacefully protest or have riots? And I don't agree with riots too, but in this context of what's happening in the world right now, I feel like you have no choice to riot. Looting is a different story, but rioting, I feel like you have no choice but to riot because, like I said, bro, like we've been protesting peacefully for years. For years, we've been protesting peacefully. We put our knee on the field. We put our knee down during the anthem. Martin Luther King did a lot of peaceful protesting for years, man. Decades, we've been protesting peacefully, and it seems like nothing is changing. So it's like the only way you're gonna listen to me is if I riot. So what people are doing is they're taking a different approach and saying, you know what? If you're not going to listen to me peacefully, then I need to riot. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the rioting. I understand that perspective. People will be like, "Oh, rioting is not going to help anything." Okay. But, like, if I peacefully protest, that hasn't helped in the past either. I put my knee on the field during the anthem. I did that. I put my knee down to give a message. Nobody even, people attacked me for doing that shit. Or attacked people for doing that shit. I peacefully protested, you know what I mean? Dozens of times. It just doesn't. So, like, rioting in a way, I understand why people riot, you know? You won what amazing their riot, CNN building the whole White House. We're just fucking up our whole city. It's just going to shit. I agree. Like, in a way, it's bad because, like, the rioting kind of causes all these things, but I agree with it in a way, you know? I think riots are needed because people won't notice, take anything serious. I think it's the same as people don't take mental health seriously unless someone's suicidal. Exactly. It's like people only take, in the society that we live in, people only take measures or people only pay attention when shit goes down. People only paid attention to mental health when Etika died. When Etika died, that's when people paid attention to mental health. They're like, oh shit. Mental health is an important thing. we need to pay attention to mental health when he died. But people don't pay attention when you're peacefully doing stuff. It seems like people don't care. People don't pay attention. So it's in a way I agree with it, but at the same time I feel like violence is always a problem, you know what I'm saying? But appreciate that, Ronnie. We're fed up, and some people don't get that. How many more black lives have to be lost before police start to listen to peaceful protests? That's what I'm saying too. It's like you peacefully protest to law enforcement and it's like nothing is done. So it's like, okay, another approach has to be taken. Now, I don't know if rioting is the best approach, but I can understand where the rioters, like the perspective they're coming to when they riot, because it's not, as much as it's detrimental in a way, it's like you peacefully been doing this shit for so long, nobody gives a fuck. You know? Nobody gives a fuck. If I'm peacefully talking to you about something, you're likely not gonna listen. But if I'm yelling at you like this, and I'm telling you, yo, this is bullshit, bro, and this is all of a sudden now you're like, oh shit, let me listen to what this dude is trying to say. You know? That's just human nature, I guess, you know? Captain, are we going to play Nigga Who after this? Probably not. I'm probably going to end the stream. We've been almost streaming for 3 hours. I'm probably going to end it at the 3-hour mark. We've been streaming for about, 2 hours, 45 minutes? So in about 15 minutes, I'm probably going to end. Because I think I covered everything that I want to say. And I think we've had a good discussion about stuff. And I appreciate everybody that, donated and, came to support and all of that stuff, guys. I appreciate you guys. All of you guys, man. Y'all are the best. But I feel like it was important to do this. I feel like riots should be used as a last resort. I feel this is a last resort. I don't think anything. I think this is a last resort. I think that's how they're treating this as a last resort, because like what else is there to do? I think that's how people feel, like this is a last resort, Honestly. It seems as if you have to force what you want for people to pay attention and think. Exactly. People only paid attention to cyberbullying after this girl took her life. Anonymous made shit public as fuck. It's a shitty fucking world that we live in, bro. It's a shitty world that we fucking live in, man. But it's the truth. Any act of kindness is never wasted. God knows your heart and sees it all. Some people may not accept your kindness, but give it anyway. I'm from South Africa. Oh, you from South Africa? Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Love from Canada. Love to South Africa. But yeah, God will see all of our actions, But in a way, I feel like God understands. God understands the bullshit that we're going through, God understands. God understands the bullshit that we going through, like, you know what I'm saying? He understands. He knows. God sees all of our actions, because I'm a man of God. I believe I'm a man of God. So I see that God sees all our actions, and he believes in the bullshit, in all of the stuff. But I think God understands what we mean, God understands what we mean. God understands what we're going through, Been the whole time. Love you, bro. Appreciate that, Levi, bro. Appreciate that. Thanks for the stream. This was a W stream. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys. I just wanted to stream to just let you guys. I think I've covered everything. I just wanted to stream to just let you guys understand that idea, that principle. Is the fact that it's important to understand that idea, like I said, I came into the stream to tell you guys, one, not all black people are criminals. Two, not all, white people are racist. Not all cops are corrupt. Have an open mindset with regards to everything that you think of with regards to this situation, and develop your own mindset too. Develop your own mindset in the sense that don't just take everything that I'm saying Try to think of it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Try to think of everything for yourself, So yeah, we can have more of a discussion in the Discord. So everyone, join the Discord too. If y'all have not joined the Discord, the link is in the description. So everybody, make sure you guys join the Discord, bro. Appreciate you coming through. Mashallah, bro. Mashallah to you too, brother. Remember, life is so hard. We need to endure these stuff. Big facts. Amaterasu says rioting is not needed. We need to literally fight back, fight police with baseball bats instead of destroying the city. I don't know if you need to fight the police with baseball bats, but because I feel like that's just going to cause more problems between the people and the police. But I see what you're coming from. I feel like rioting is necessary, though, for people to understand. Rioting is necessary. And one person donated and said, I forgot what was his name was the Frozen Pyromaniac. I don't know if he's in here, but he also said, I'm gonna read his comments again. He says the good cops need to hold the bad ones accountable for their actions. Being complacent with that behavior when you have to protect it is just bad. And I agree with that. That was something I wasn't even thinking of too, is the idea that the good cops need to hold these bad cops accountable for the actions that they do. I wasn't even thinking about something like that. So you guys are adding to the discussion. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, Pyromaniac, he's still here. I appreciate that, bro. Because I wasn't even thinking about that. That's another thing too, is the good cops need to hold the bad officers accountable. Now, it's not going to be easy because like I told you guys, it's a whole institutional, this is an institutional thing. This is an institutional thing. This is not a one cop did a bad thing. No, this is an institutional thing. Like law enforcement, in a way, a lot of law enforcement agencies are corrupt. Corrupt in the sense that a lot of law enforcement officers, they are a part of the Ku Klux Klan. They are a part of it. They're a part of anti-black groups, anti-minority groups. Corrupt. Completely corrupt. You know what I mean? But they let these people become cops, even though they know that they're part of these organizations. It's corrupt, man. But yeah, why isn't the government of America doing anything? Oh, they are doing stuff, Knight. Trump said that he was gonna the military is gonna be dispatched. The American military is gonna be dispatched. So I don't think Trump is doing anything but fueling the fire, in my opinion. Like from what it seems like, if you dispatch the military on your own people, it's gonna be a civil war, it seems like, man. Because these rioters, they're not gonna give up that easily. They're gonna go like, oh, the military is shooting at us, well, we're gonna shoot back. That's the mindset that people have now. But I pray for everybody, bro. All of you guys, stay safe. Stay, if you guys go to the riots, please be safe. This whole corona shit's still going around. So like I said, make sure you, wear a mask and respect social distancing. And just be careful, because rioting is important. I think protesting, rioting is important. However, don't feel like stealing is good. Don't steal. Don't loot. Because that's not helping anything. And just be safe, Be safe, all of you. All of you guys, please be safe. The government likes to swap things under the rug. These types of things happen. I went to the beginning of the stream. I hear your thoughts and your voice on what happened in 107, because the world is burning in its own mess from the past that has had. That's what. Yeah, I'm glad you went back, Ashanti. Yeah. We were. Yeah. My whole philosophy is everything that's happening now, and I'm glad you brought that up again. Appreciate that, Ashanti. I'm glad you brought that up again. Everything that's happening now is a result of the past, ladies and gentlemen. Everything. everything that happens now is a result of the past. The stereotypes that you, like I said, Joyner Lucas said in one of his songs, even though I'm not picking cotton physically, that don't mean I'm not affected by the history. And you are affected by the history. Everything that you deal with now is because of history and the past. You know what I mean? I might have to leave this stream up. Usually I delete the streams after the stream. I delete the stream. But I might keep this stream up because I feel like if people want to visit it, see what I was saying earlier, let me know. Do y'all want me to keep the stream up? Usually I delete it, but let me know if y'all want me to keep the stream up. The only way that'll happen is if governors in each state approve it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure how it works over there. Well, I mean, Trump has the rule at the end of the day. Like, he has the governors have to pass it in their state, but at the end of the day, Trump has the rule. Like, he has the say. If he wants to do it, he'll just do it. You know? I think he just has the say at the end of the day. Delete the stream. Jake Paul isn't relevant anymore. Definitely keep the stream. Okay. Hey Cap, how long did it take you to get to 100? I have been making YouTube videos for half a year, and I'm only at 53 subs. On this channel, I got to 100 subscribers in a week. That's because I had a lot of people from my other channel come over when I first started this channel. When I first started my whole like YouTube shit, it took me about 3 months to get to 100 subscribers. That was because my friends and everybody like subbed to this shit. I don't even remember though, bro. But just keep grinding, you know what I'm saying? Keep grinding, bro. Good shit will happen for you if you keep grinding. I suggest you keep it. More of you, the better. Please keep the stream like this. Stream gave me a lot of confidence. Okay, I'll keep the stream up, guys. So if any of you guys want to look back on like what I said and the stuff that I said, you can, because like I feel like this shit is important, you know. This shit is really important. So how long did it take you to get to 1,000? On this channel, it took me I think on this channel it took me about 6 months, 7 months. But like I said, I had a boost from my first channel, brought some people over, gave me a little bit of a boost, and then like I was just streaming. Streaming really helps to build up your channel if you guys want. I used to be a streamer, for anybody that doesn't know. I used to just stream just like this. I used to just stream, and it really built up my stuff. So that's for another time. I can give you guys tips on YouTube if y'all want, for sure. You started in 2018. Yeah, I started at around September 2018. So we're about a year and a half in to this channel now. Easy way to get to 100 subs, just ain't, yeah. I'm out. Thanks for your opinion, my guys. Appreciate you coming through, Lufano. Appreciate that, man. We in here, swimwear. Yeah, keep it, dog. Let me see. Am I missing anything? I kind of want you to keep it because it's nice listening to refreshing things. Yeah, if you guys want to send the stream to people, make sure you guys send it out to people. Not just me, anybody. Like, anybody. It's important that we understand each other's perspectives in this time, you know? It's important that we understand each other's perspectives in this time of grievance. Because it's, Black Lives Matter, bro. Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying? Stream was dope as fuck. Yeah. I'm gonna end the stream soon. I'm gonna end it at the 3-hour mark. But I love you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming through. Good luck. Stay safe. Appreciate that, Hadid. Appreciate that, bro. If a famous person says their family member died, if a famous person said their family member died, but when happened to you barely anybody cares except family. That was very hard to read. I'm not gonna cap. But I will with and be there for that change, even though I'm behind now. Everything will come forward from the past as peace, but it will break because we're gonna step forward with anything and everything. Respects. Will bring us back, but will keep us going forward towards tomorrow to a freedom. I agree. Ashanti, you sound like a pastor. Holy shit. I'm not even that deep, but you sound like a pastor. No cap. I've seen a video of a National Guard shooting canisters at people standing on their own porches, yelling at them to go inside. Ah, man. We gotta pray for people, bro. Guys, we gotta pray for people, bro. All lives matter, including black. Yeah, but once again, meme taster. All lives do matter. All lives do matter. I agree with you. All lives do matter, but in this context, it's not. It's hard for you to say that. Like, it's hard to say all lives matter in this context, you know? Because like I said, I came up with early in the stream. I came up with this. I told you guys, if Asia invaded Europe, and the European people created and Asia's pillaging and destroying everything in Europe, and the European people created justice for Europe. Nobody's gonna create the hashtag justice for the world. That doesn't make sense to do that. Nobody's gonna do that. You know what I mean? So saying all lives matter when there's a clearly like a problem within the black spectrum that's happening is kind of like saying, even though Europe is being invaded and pillaged, the justice for the world instead of justice for Europe. And nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna say justice for the world. You're gonna say, oh shit, Europe is being invaded, justice for Europe, you know? So it's important to do that. It's important to do that. This stream is really cool. I love that you rant to us and we can share our perspectives together. Love you, Cap. True crew forever. Appreciate that, Catherine. I hope you're doing well, Cap. I'm doing good, bro. Why do people hate it when somebody says all lives matter? Just curious. I don't know. Okay, so Lack. There's Black Lives Matter and there's All Lives Matter. The reason why people don't like when you say all lives matter, and it's kind of counter, it's like it's not disrespectful, but it's not appropriate, is because, like I told you, if Asia invaded Europe, European people, so like you're European, so if Asia invaded you guys, started destroying your houses, all this shit, and you create the hashtag justice for Europe or justice for Germany or whatever, and somebody said justice for the world instead of justice for Europe, and Europe's the one that's being invaded and pillaged and all that stuff, you're gonna say that's dumb. The world has problems, but right now the main problem in the world is Europe. It's being invaded. So although it's appropriate to say justice for the world because the world has problems, right now the main problem is within Europe. So if it's a black issue and black people are being killed and all of this stuff, for you to say all lives matter is a protest in a way to Black Lives Matter, if that makes sense. That's why, as much as it's correct, I agree with you, all lives matter. Your life matters, my life matters. In this context, it doesn't make sense. If a black person was killed, you know what I mean? For you to correct Black Lives Matter to all lives matter, that doesn't make sense. Cap is a real one. Ain't nobody gonna change my mind. Appreciate that, bro. Don't forget about the Blue Lives Matter shit. I mean, law enforcement officers, don't get it twisted. They put their lives on the line, but for people, but saying and I do respect the young men and women who are officers that are putting their lives at risk every single day, but you're gonna add fuel to the fire by saying blue lives matter, if you get what I'm saying. And 1 out of 4 blacks unarmed killed in 2015, and only 9 of the cops were actually convicted and sent to prison. And out of all of that went to prison, only 1 remained there for 4 years, and the rest months. It's unfortunate, man. All Lives Matter is a protest against another protest. Yeah, you know, it doesn't, because I refuse to believe if Asia invaded Europe, nobody's going to say justice for the world. Everybody's going to say justice for Europe. And nobody is going to protest it and go like justice for the world. Nobody's going to do that. If Asia invaded Europe, justice for Europe, and everyone's going to use that hashtag, and nobody's going to say justice for, nobody's going to do that. So I find it strange that people will try to protest the Black Lives Matter shit. And like I told you, it's I understand why people protest it. It's because it's, like I told you guys, it's a guilt thing. It's out of guilt. It's a guilt thing. The reason why people say all lives matter, when people say Black Lives Matter, it's a guilt thing, right? So it's like a white guy saw Black Lives Matter and he created All Lives Matter because it's like, oh shit, you're being killed by the police. You know, you're dealing with problems as a black man. Look at me. All my life matters too. I'm dealing with the same problems. It's kind of like it's like refusing to acknowledge the idea that I'm dealing with like a lot more shit than what you're dealing with. Like, you know, it's kind of like I want to be in the same boat as you, which doesn't make sense. It's like I said earlier in the stream, if you are a white person, like I said earlier in the stream, if you are a white person, it's important for you to understand the idea that if you're white and you're born into the country, you do have a sense of privilege to you. You do have a privilege that you have to accept regardless. Now, we're all born with privilege. You know what I mean? But you have to accept that's one of the privileges that you're born with. Simple. If you don't agree with that, then it's kind of like, I don't know what to tell you. Then one white guy says all lives matter. He wouldn't be wrong, but in the context matters, and all lives matter is used to diverge your attention away from the people who are being damaged. Exactly. So it's counterproductive. You know what I mean? It's not to see Cap caring about world problems instead of just talking about anime titties. Yeah, it was important for me to do this, man. Jobby, what's good, bro? Justice for Juicy. Black people stay strong 100% for sure. Okay, Cap, what was your first channel? It was called Your True Captain. If one building is on fire, you can't... Yeah, that's another example, too. Hadi just came up with another example. If one building is on fire, and there's 4 buildings, the firefighters are not gonna spray all 4 buildings with water, with their hoses. They're gonna spray that one building that's on fire. That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna spray that one building. So what you're saying is like, spray all the buildings even though they're not on fire. Okay, you can spray the other 4 buildings, they'll be clean. But there's a fire happening right here, you know? Would you agree with justice for Europe if Shinobu said it? JK. y'all always meme, bruh. Yo, I'm out, dog. Thanks for the fact check and real talk. Got you, Uchiha, bro. New cops needed, fam. We just need to reform the justice system. That is a big fact, but that's not easy to do. Maybe after the people just realize the world is being killed by us. Appreciate y'all for coming through, man. Hold on. Did I miss anything? Damn, the way Cap says it makes me want to live. Nigga, we already told you Cap's second channel was Your True. Yeah, it's called Your True Captain. So, I love what you're saying is not based on your opinions, but straight facts. In a way, it still is opinions, but I just tell you the outlook that I have, you know? Like I said in the stream, guys, it's important to understand people are not racist. Majority of people that you think are racist are not racist, guys. It's just ignorance. And we're all ignorant. We are all ignorant. Trust me. You know what I'm saying? It's ignorance. A white person will see a black guy, like I said, hitting a police officer and think he's violent. But what that it's ignorant, but it's just ignorance because that white person that thinks black people are violent for hitting the police officer doesn't understand this shit happens every single day, and you just get tired, frustrated of this bullshit happening, this injustice happening every single day. So you snap, and you just sometimes brothers snap, and they just, you know what I mean? You get tired. But I don't expect anybody. I don't expect, if you like a white person from the suburb, I don't expect you to understand that it's just ignorance. I don't expect you to understand that shit, you know? I don't expect you to understand that shit. Now, if you understand that and you still want to say all this bullshit, then you have problems. But majority of people are just, they're ignorant. And they're just blissfully ignorant. There's nothing we can do other than try to educate that ignorance, you know? That's it. That's it, guys. That's it. Yeah, but people only say things based off of what they hear or know. Yeah, that's why all this shit is going around. Why you think black people are violent against police? Because that's what they hear and that's what they see on the news. A black man attacked a police officer. But what the news didn't tell you was this same fucking police officer has been asking this same dude for his ID for the past 3 weeks. Just harassing him for his ID for the past 3 weeks every single time he walks down the same street. And that black guy gets annoyed and says, yo, bro, what am I doing that's so wrong? The cop comes up with some half-ass shit. I need to know who you are, blah, blah, blah. The brother gets pissed off and hits, you know? But if you don't understand that, you will never get it. You will always think, oh, black people they attack the police officers. They do all this stuff. You will never understand that idea. It's ignorance. It's not people are racist. It's people are ignorant. People will say black people commit 50% of the homicide, 50% of the murder. But what they don't understand is that when you're in a lower income area, you're more likely to commit crime. You're more likely to commit murders. But it's ignorance in the sense that they just see this statistic of black people commit 50% of the murder and they think black people are violent people. Go to a black middle class neighborhood, they have the least crime. Black people have, you look at Asian middle class, white middle class, Hispanic middle class, black middle class. Look at the stats. Black middle class neighborhoods, the least crime in all of the neighborhoods. The least crime. So are black people really violent? No. It's just socioeconomics. That's all it is. But the news and everybody's not going to tell you that black middle class neighborhoods are safe and nobody's doing any crime in them. None. They're not going to tell you that. So you think that oh shit, black people commit murder, this, that, and the other. They're dangerous. They're bad people. But it has nothing to do with the race. It has to do with the economics. So, I like, it's ignorance, you know? Can you please stop saying bad word? What bad word did I say? Shit happens. People get fed up. That's why the streets look like sewers right now. Yep. For sure. But, Maple, if Cap becomes president, maybe if Cap will become president, Shinobu and hentai everywhere. Y'all are crazy, man. And also, some cops are aggressive to blacks, bro. They fear us, bro. They don't know us. Yeah, that's another. It's stereotypes, man. It's stereotypes, you know? Perspective is important. Exactly. You got to be able to put your shoes in somebody else's shoes. You got to be able to understand the perspective of another person. You have to. That's why it's important to understand where another person is coming from. I might not agree with you, but I understand where you're coming from. So it's important to understand where people are coming from sometimes when it comes to these issues. I can explain all these issues to you. You see how I just explained to you the swinging on a police officer. You see how I just explained that? I can explain these things to you guys, you know? It's nothing like crazy. It's nothing crazy. It's just perspective. It's just perspective. You got to understand the perspective, and you got to be able to be willing to understand the perspective. It's just everybody's ignorant to some degree. Once you open your mind to see other stuff, the ignorance just becomes, ignorance just becomes, it just goes out the window. Stop saying bad words. What bad words am I? Ignorance? Is ignorant a bad? How's ignorant a bad word? Get to know us before you judge. Unfortunately, it's some people will just judge, Sometimes I think I'm white, then I remember that I'm just a very pale Asian boy. Oh, I didn't know you're Asian, bro. Oh shit. Nah, you gotta represent your shit, Knight, bro. You gotta represent your shit. Y'all made anime and everything, bro. Y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? I watched something on Facebook that it's too easy to become a cop. Yeah, it's just, at the end of the day, bro, I think all people are good people as long as you have good intent. All people are good people. It's just the media will try to change your mind on certain stuff. The media will try to portray certain stuff. The media will tell you certain stuff. That's why it's like a lot of these media outlets, you can't really listen to them. You gotta get your own information from being out in the world. Majority of people are just relying on news to understand what happens in the world, bro. You know what I mean? And that is not right. That is not right, You got to understand the world yourself. And now it's hard. If you're a white guy, it's hard for you to put yourself in black shoes. It's hard for you to understand that this shit, it's hard for you to believe. There's some white people that think that cops are not corrupt. They think that law enforcement officers are not doing bullshit around the world. It's hard for you to believe until you put yourself in the shoes of a person, But once you put yourself in the shoes, you'll understand that almost every single day this happens. Before quarantine, this shit happened, damn near every week there's a police officer that stops me. Damn near every week for no reason. I look like this, I look whatever. One cop told me, he said I looked like I was a gang affiliated. Crazy. The amount of stories I could tell you guys with regards to law enforcement, me and law enforcement, insane. This shit has happened to me since I was 16 years old. Insane. You know what I mean? So, like I said, guys, it's crazy, man. But I love all people. White people, black people, Hispanic people, Asian people. I have friends of all races and colors, So yeah, it's important. Even Trump supporters, and this is what I mean, ignorance. Even Trump supporters, if somebody's a Trump supporter, people are so fast to bash that person. Oh, you're a racist. You support Trump, you're a racist. People are so quick to bash that person who's a Trump supporter. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is you gotta understand the perspective, just like they need to understand your perspective. If you swung on a cop, why did you swing on the cop? You tell that person, oh, this fucking stupid ass, corrupt ass police officer has been stopping me 5 times every single day for the past week, and I haven't even been doing anything. I got pissed off and and that's human nature to do some shit like that. Just like you tell somebody that's your perspective. Now, if you go up to find a Trump supporter, you got to understand their perspective too. Why do they support Trump? They might support Trump for economic reasons, job reasons. You got to understand. And if it's like a decent thing, now if somebody comes up to me and goes I support Trump because he's for the white people, it's stupid to me. But if you tell me oh yeah, Trump has been cutting taxes on small businesses and he's been doing stuff with regards to small business. Now, I happen to be a small business owner, and if he's going to cut my taxes down on small businesses, it's in my fit. Then I'm going to go okay, that makes sense for you to vote for him. I understand perspective. You got to understand perspective. So even if I'm not a Trump supporter, I understand the perspective of that. You know what I mean? All these cops are doing to actual peaceful protesters are just being fueling people and want to harm and destroy shit. As Afro-Iraqi people would always call me the N-word and call me terrorist at the Racit to me as an RTC. What is that, Kano? What is an RTC? Yeah, racism exists everywhere, man. Unfortunately, bro. It don't matter what kind of This is why I tell you, if you are a minority, if you're a person of color, right? Black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, right? Samoan. You need to know the law. You need to understand how the law works, because eventually shit is gonna happen to you. You know what I mean? And you need to understand how this shit works. It's important, bro. Any person that is a minority, you need to understand the law so that you won't be taken advantage of. Black people want to stop being murdered. Black people want to stop being murdered, and people are like, but I mean, it's like I told you guys, half of it is ignorance, half of it is just people are assholes. Like people don't want to be put on blast as a racist. You know what I mean? So you have, like I said, you have these people who wear masks. I'm not racist, but you know, you black people, you commit a lot of murders. You know, I'm not racist, but Corona came from China, and you know, all Chinese people are to blame for this. I'm not racist, but you know, the majority of Hispanics living in California are, you know, I do believe they all need to be vetted, because it's dangerous that they're masked racists. I'm not racist though, but I just think that this is necessary for. I'm not racist, but I think it's important in these lower income African American communities. Everybody needs to be checked to make sure no violence is happening. I'm just thinking of the children. Why don't you just come out and say, like, yo, I don't like you because you're Asian. I don't like you. I'd rather you do. I don't like you because you're Asian. I don't like you because you're black. I don't like you because you're Hispanic. Why don't you just come out and say it? It's easier. I'd rather you have that person that does that versus somebody that wears a mask. Like, you know, those liberal people that go like, I'm not racist, but like, very liberal, but they do this shit. Same thing with Joe Biden. What Joe Biden pulled a couple of days ago. You vote for Trump, and if you vote for Trump and you don't vote for me, let me tell you something, then you're definitely not black. What kind of bullshit is that? You're pretty much telling me, like, I don't vote for you? That demeans my blackness. What the hell does that mean? What does that? It's like a closet racist. He's like Joe Biden in a way. He's a closet racist without him even knowing. You think you can get my vote just because I'm black and it's a Democratic Party? You think you can get my vote? You're a closet racist. But anyways, bro, I'm in a Zoom right now. Go to class. What you doing? Ali Kama, what are you doing, bro? Go to class, man. If you're in a thing, go to class, bro. This man made an account called the KKK. Liberal? Yeah, some liberals are racist like that, bro. No cap. But anyways, what time is it? Oh shit, we are overtime. God damn. Anyways, listen. But listen, I appreciate you guys coming through. I legit want people to admit their racism instead of denying it. That shit annoys me. Just let me know to not interact with you. Nobody wants to get canceled nowadays. You know what I mean? If you're racist, you're going to lose your job. If you're racist, nobody's going to want to associate with you. If you're racist, we live in a cancel culture. So it's like people need to adapt in the sense. You know what I mean? Back in the day, nobody needed to adapt. People can just say like, oh yeah, I'm racist. And you can do that because your job is not going to care if you're racist. Nowadays, people care. So, but yeah, listen, I appreciate you guys coming through. I think been streaming for a good 3 hours 23 minutes. I think we'll see. We'll see if I'll leave the stream up or if I like private it or some shit. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If y'all want me to leave it up, let me know. Everyone, make sure y'all do me a favor. Make sure y'all join the Discord. Somebody put all the links in. Put the links to the Instagram, to the Discord, everything. Appreciate you guys coming through, man. It was a good stream. I just wanted to get this shit across and let y'all know all of this stuff, because it's an important thing that y'all need to understand. I wanted to just get this across for people to understand different perspectives, and it was good because I understood some of you guys' perspectives. Some of you guys disagreed with me. Some of you guys agreed with me. I agree with some of you guys said. You agree with some of what I said. So, I appreciate all the donations as well. Donations from Unknown, donations from Pyromaniac, Spider Ninja, Majestic, all of you guys. Appreciate y'all donations today, man. Y'all are the greatest, man. Y'all are the greatest. Like I said, it's amazing that I have a group of people that I can talk to you guys about, and you guys can talk to me, because, like, you know, if I was 16 years old just sitting in my room, I wouldn't be able to talk to anybody about this kind of shit and, you know, have a discussion. So that's the beauty of this social media shit, is that you can have a discussion with people and talk to people. And so, you know, it's amazing, you know. It's amazing. So I appreciate you guys coming through. And yeah, everyone, make sure you guys join the Discord, follow the IG. I'm gonna be posting some more stuff on IG, maybe today, hopefully. So appreciate you guys coming through, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next stream or video. The next, like I said, all this bullshit that's happening, guys, is just, it's bullshit. So like, it's hard for me to like consistently put out like content and videos and stuff like that. Like I said, the past week my mind has been all on this bullshit, so it was hard for me to edit. Like the video I dropped yesterday, I don't know if some of y'all saw the video I dropped yesterday. The video I dropped yesterday was long overdue. I was planning on dropping that on like Friday, but I dropped it yesterday because of all this bullshit that's happening. And so like my mind has been everywhere. It's been hard to, you know, get shit out and stuff, but bangers are on the way, so don't be afraid. Okay, don't worry, we're gonna get these bangers out, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate y'all for everything that you guys have done. So make sure, like I said, if y'all go to the riots, you know, make sure y'all stay safe. You know, do your best to obey the law. Try to stay peaceful and try to stay humble, you know what I'm saying? So I love every single one of you guys, and like I said, join the Discord, and everything if y'all have not done so. And I love y'all, man. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next stream video whenever. I hope to see you guys there. All right, peace. Hold on. Let me leave y'all off with some shit. You know what I'm saying? Peace from the captain, nigga.